Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for an absolutely massive test match of the November Internationals. Ireland at the Aviva taking on South Africa. Now, this game has been anticipated for quite some time. Two absolutely stacked sides for this fixture as well. It is going to be incredible when they go head to head. And there's a lot on the line for these two sides. But looking through at the starting lineups, first of all for the Irish, it is Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan and Tyke Furlong as their front row, so going with a lot of experience here for this Irish side, which I feel is the right decision in this scenario. You could have easily seen a little bit of rotation, but this definitely isn't the game to do it. But overall, still very strong up front. Andrew Porter, bit of pressure on him when it comes to those scrums, seeing as he's going head-to-head up against Thomas du Toit. James Ryan and Tyke Byrne, they will be the locking duo. I do think that Tyke Byrne is one of the absolute keys for the Irish in this contest. Ryan Beard as the 6, Josh van der Flair at number 7, and Caelan Doris slots in as the 8. They also have Jack Conan to make his way off of the bench. So, these three have a lot of turnover ability, which is exactly what you want in this type of matchup. The last few times that Ireland have played South Africa, the games have been extremely even throughout the 80 minutes, so it could be that one big turnover that makes the difference and perhaps even wins a side the game. And at this matchup, Jameson Gibson Park alongside Sam Prendergast as that 9-10 combination. Gibson Park has been an outstanding 9 all throughout this year as well as the years prior. Did have a bit of an injury layoff, but he comes back stronger than ever now. And he partners with the interesting Sam Prendergast, I will say. He is unorthodox. He is very unpredictable. He is unliked by some Irishmen, I have noticed on social media throughout this week. They wanted to see Jack Crowley in that number 10 jersey, but Prendergast, that is a target area for the Springboks when it comes to their attack. So if he can get his tackling right, it could be a real handful throughout this contest. Bundy Arkey in the midfield alongside Gary Ringrose, so about as strong as it gets for Ireland there. James Lowe, Tommy O'Brien, and Mac Hansen coming off a hat-trick in his last contest that was up against the Australians, so building confidence into this game against the Boks. Looking through at the starting lineup for the Springboks, it is Brian Fenter, Malcolm Marx and Thomas du Toit as the front row. Brian Fenter being taken off twice in a row in early stages of contest. Thomas du Toit can play on that loose head side as well, but in this particular matchup, Rassi has decided to give him the chance at tight head, and he is going head to head like I mentioned with Andrew Porter in this match. Malcolm Marx, one of the many players from South Africa nominated for awards for the World Rugby Player of the Year. In this case, Malcolm Marx, he could have a very good shot of winning it, although I do think more than likely Pieter-Steph du Toit or perhaps even Oxen Share, they could get themselves the award. Instead, Eben Etzebeth in that number 4 jersey, the most experienced Springbok of all time. He partners with one of the most informed in Ruan Nokia. Then Sio Kolisi at the 6, Pieter-Steph du Toit number 7, and Jasper Visser closes out the 4-pack. He is the number 8. Cobus Reinach and Sasha Feinberg, Zulu in that 19 combination. Those two have been doing extremely well for the South Africans throughout this year, whether that was first of all making their way off the bench as a bit of an impact to then cementing themselves as starters in the big matches. We saw them in the starting lineup up against the French, and I would say up against the Welsh. We're probably not even going to see them because Rassi likes making that rotation. So this is their big moment, their big main event per se, for them to be able to finish the year on an absolute high. Damien Delendy in the midfield alongside Jesse Krill, so a lot of experience there. I have to say, these midfield combinations are phenomenal for both of these sides, and just watching them head-to-head is going to be fantastic. Cheslin Colby out on the left wing. We did see the concussion for Kurtley Ardenson, so unavailable for this game. Also opting to go with more experience in this backline rather than someone like an Ethan Hooker. Kanan Moody, he is out on the right wing, and then Damien Valimza, he got himself the Man of the Match award up against the Italians. Needs a strong game from the back up against Matt Hansen here. Now, I will mention, in the time that I read through those lineups, there were 60 messages that came through from you guys. Of course, we aren't going to be able to read all of them, unfortunately, but we will be trying our absolute best. Someone asked when the game is starting. It is starting in 30 minutes' time, so we've got plenty of time to look through at these two sides, to look at what they've been able to do throughout recent times and kind of see how they match up stylistically as we head towards this match at the Aviva Stadium. We have got there, can only mention red cards 15 times. See how far the referee wants to go, says Pierre. We did see 2 yellow cards in that All Blacks versus Wales game. So if that's anything to go by, we could see a few in this contest as well. But ideally, if we can honestly go the 80 minutes without anyone getting sent off the field, even one more up on top of that, if we can get through 80 minutes without any controversy, that would be incredible, but it's not going to happen. At the end of the day, there are so many factors in those breakdowns. The physicality of these two sides is going to be the forefront as well here, so it is going to be a hard-hitting affair when these two sides take to the field, but that is what makes it so must-see. When these two teams have brilliant skill on attack, defensively very solid as well. Like, we could either see a very high scoring or a very low scoring game. I'm thinking mid-20s for both of these two sides, but of course, do let me know your predictions in the comments as well. I'm here again to support the Springboks. He's Tino Tenda, and it is great to have you here once again. And of course, after this game, we've also got the match taking place between Australia and France. So be sure to stick around for that as well. South Africa to win it, says George. Hello, says Yeti. Hope you're doing extremely well. And also, a bunch of big South Africans running at Prendergast. He's going to have a day, says Mano. I think this whole Irish backline are going to have a day. The thing is, Sam Prendergast's defence has been the one thing I have seen consistently talked about from Irish supporters all throughout social media this week, ever since he got that starting lineup opportunity. Now, the thing is, Prendergast, people are talking about that 10 channel being targeted, but he doesn't often defend in that 10 channel. He actually defends out wide. So I think what we're going to see from South Africa, if they are trying to target Prendergast, is a shifting of the ball in quick succession, and that is something that they've done brilliantly throughout 2025, moving that ball around and finding those gaps in the opposition backline. Rassie definitely brought the big guns. Yeah, this is an extremely strong side from Rassie Erasmus. This is an extremely strong Irish side too, though. I mentioned about it earlier on, how this is the type of match, when you look through at the lineups, you wish that you could watch it 5 times over just to see all the different type of results that could happen when these two sides play. Like, it's always so close between them, and whether or not we see a one-sided affair here to break the chain, perhaps it could be on the cards, but you just get that feeling like, once again, when these two sides start and the whistle blows, 80 minutes of just test match rugby at its finest. I've said this before, you are brilliant at this and have a great manner and delivery. Hope someone signs you up professionally on the big bucks, mate. Regard, Mike from England. Thank you very much, mate. It is hugely appreciated, and we've got plenty more coming on the channel. We've got tomorrow as well, England playing Argentina. That could be an absolutely awesome one. Damien de Allende got to run at the skinny Irish number 10 all game. But the thing is, he may not be defending in the 10 channel. They might actually stick Bundy Arki or someone like that in that gap. So then, Damien de Allende, he will run at Bundy Arki all day as well. I don't think it matters who's in front of de Allende. He is just going to keep on going. And we have got the hi Hamish and chat. We don't, well done All Blacks on the win. Enjoy the braai. We'll tune back in when the game kicks off. Says, hey no. An excellent job on the last game, says Dwayne. Thank you very much. It is hugely appreciated, like I mentioned. It was a bit of an interesting matchup. I know that maybe it didn't quite go the way that either side were hoping that it would. So, hopefully this game's a lot closer and a bit more back and forth. And hopefully it's a good game of ball, says Tony. I just realised that came through at 6:10, so I'm now 3 minutes behind on the chat, so I'm going to have to skip about 50 messages to get us back up to live. Your poll shows 80% of viewers are South African. There's Gary, which sounds about right in terms of our numbers. Easy win for South Africa, says Martin there. And hi, Hamish and everyone, says Rhea. But what we will do is we look through at the starting lineups. We will look through at the benches for these two sides. For the Irish, they have gone with the 5-3 split in this matchup, whereas for South Africa, I don't know what you call it. It's a 5-3, it's a 6-2. It depends on where Andre Esterhuizen makes his way onto the field. But for the Irish, they've got Ronan Kelleher, they've got McCarthy and Bielam as the replacements. Now, depending on how strong that South African scrum is, we could actually see those two men out on the field relatively early. Kian Prendergast as at number 19 with Jack Conan slotting in at 20. He's versatile. He can play all 3 of those loose forward roles. But I do think that they will expect 80 minutes out of Josh van der Fleer and Caelan Doris in this contest. Ryan Baird, they may tell to empty the gas tank early, or perhaps one of the other two. Get that memo, but something that has to happen throughout this contest is that Jack Conan can come on in the later stages rather than early. Definitely if South Africa are going to use Kwaka Smith and Andre Esterhuizen as loose forwards replacements in this game. Craig Casey, Jack Crowley, and also Tom Farrell is there as at number 23. So 3 great options coming off the bench for Ireland as well when it comes to their backs. For South Africa, they have got the 3 Bulls as their front row replacements. Johan Grobelaar, Gerhard Stennekamp and Wilco Low as that 18. Audrey Snyman It is not too often you see a player come off the bench for a milestone match under Rassie Erasmus, but in this case, Harry Snyman does get to make his way on later on in this contest up against his teammates of Leinster, so he'll have that insider knowledge. We know how much Snyman loves an offload, and I think he's going to be doing it all throughout the later stages of this game as well. Quaka Smith and Andre Esterhuizen to add a little bit more oomph to that loose forward trio late. Grant Williams and Mani Libok. Rassie's been working in pairings. That is a formidable one. And then the other pairing, it is Andre Pollard and Morne Vandenberg. More than likely, they'll get game time up against the Welsh in next week's game. But looking through at the chat again, which is just going very quickly. Everyone's in an extremely chatty mood. Oh, we have to get our Hamish when you're taking a break. Says Megan Crow. So today, there's about a maybe 20-minute break between this match and France versus Australia. I'm not sure whether or not I'm going to be doing a review during that time or whether I will be trying to have something to eat, but I will have a slight little break there, and then from there we're straight back into it for France-Australia. But tomorrow, a lot more free time compared to today, that is for sure. I reckon Ireland by 5. Says Chris Kelly there. Best commentary ever. Best commentary every week, listening from Vancouver. Says Maris there. And yeah, greatly appreciated so many of you being here already. I have to say, we're 25 minutes away from kickoff, and we've already got 1,000 people who are watching this live stream, which is just absolutely incredible. And yeah, it is greatly appreciated you all being here to listen to me rambling before the match gets underway. Good evening, sir, says Jeremy. Welcome in. And my sweet Hamish, says Megan in there too. Will the match be streamed here or only the commentary? Sadly, just the commentary. We will be doing the play-by-play, though, letting you know exactly what is happening all throughout this contest. I can tell you right now, it's going to be a crazy one when these two sides go head-to-head. And you just get that feeling like we're going to see just an epic test match on the cards. I can't believe how close we are to kickoff. I'll be honest. You sit there all week getting excited about this match. You see the lineups announced and you get that little bit more hype. We're only about 20 minutes away from the national anthems, and then we're underway for this contest. I almost sound like a kid round Christmas time. And to be fair, it is almost Christmas, but I don't know what to expect for this contest. And that's the scary thing, you know. These two sides, on paper, could have an outstanding game, or it could be an absolute dud. Hopefully not the second one, though. Hopefully we get the greatest game that we've seen this year. All here because of your awesome channel, Hamish, says Stephanie there. And also, good evening, Hamish, says Vicky. Welcome in. And also, hello, Hamish, says Greta. And there too, welcome in. I'm this excited for a friendly. Should be more excited than, you sound more excited than the Rugby Championship. I am in a certain extent. I think it's also just dependent on the time of the day and whatnot. Like, it's always in the middle of the night fixtures that we seem to either find that second wind or completely go straight down. But at the moment, I am wide awake, raring to go for this game. And we have got there, what's the score? At the moment, game has not started yet. We're 20 minutes away from kickoff, but it is getting closer. The nerves are starting to kick in for both of these sides. We'll look through at what Ireland have done throughout their whole season. So far in the Six Nations, they managed to finish, I believe it was third. I think the English just snuck them with the one extra point, and they managed to get the win over the English in match number 1 of the Six Nations, 27 points to 22. They then beat Scotland, they beat the Welsh, but that loss to the French. Now, the substantial part of that loss, and the reason that I'm going to bring it up a little bit more, is that was at the Aviva, 42 points to 27. So that's one to keep in mind. The Irish don't lose at the Aviva too often whatsoever, but the French, they were able to cause it. Now, they were then able to beat the Italians, 22 points to 17, pretty close game between those two sides for the last round of the Six Nations, but by that stage, the competition was gone. Ireland getting the win over Georgia, 34 points to 5 in the July internationals, and then that game happened. I want to say that that's one of the only games we have seen in terms of the top about 25 teams where we've seen 100 points brought up throughout this calendar year, but 106 points to 7 up against the Portuguese, and that was in the absence of their British and Irish Lions as well, so showing off a bit more of that depth that Irish rugby is developing. In recent times, throughout the November internationals, didn't get off to a great start, lost to New Zealand. Now, that game was not at the Aviva, that was actually in Chicago that the two sides played, 26 points to 13, beating the Japanese 41 to 10. Now, ironically, you look at that scoreline and you'd say, yep, good old matchup, well done Ireland. But for a lot of people, they were frustrated with how Ireland played in that game and felt like they didn't play their best rugby. So all I'll say is if you're winning a game by 31 points and you're not playing your best, Like, you'd still be relatively happy, I would think. But then, that game up against the Australians, who are far from playing their best rugby at this point in time, 46-19, a great win for the Irish the week before this one. Looking through at South Africa, and boy, there are a lot of games that the Springboks have played this year. They beat the Barbarians in July. They then beat Italy twice, and they made it a third in the game just last week, beating the Georgians 55 points to 10. So if that's a comparison that you want to try and make between these two sides, Ireland beating Georgia by around that 29 margin, whereas South Africa beat them by 45, beating Italy by a little bit more than the Irish did in that match. It's so hard to make a comparison, though, because I feel like there have been injuries for both of these sides that have affected who has been playing at what time. Plus, Rassi is the master of rotation, though it is never the same Springbok side playing in each of their matches. They had a loss to the Australians in the first round of the Rugby Championship, 38 points to 22. From there, they fired back, got themselves the 8-point victory. They lost to Eden Park, but then went on to slaughter New Zealand in Wellington. Big win over the Argentines. So there was a point where South Africa in 2 matches scored 110 points from those games. And then winning up against the Argentines, that was at the Twickenham Stadium for the end of the Rugby Championship. And that is not all of the games for South Africa, ladies and gents. They have still got the 3 more that they have played. They beat Japan 61 points to 7. They beat the French by 15, 32 points to the 17. And then they beat Italy just last week. Now, these last 2 games, there has been controversy all throughout in terms of the cards. And hopefully we're not going to have any card controversy in this game as well. But the end score, 32-14. And even in games where the Springboks are playing predominantly with 14 men, they are still winning in those matches. So a 14-match calendar year for the Springboks. Not many sides are doing that. That is for sure. You reckon Fenta weakens the box scrum? Says Lorenzo. You're talking about, I assume, Brian Fenta there. I don't think he's too bad in a scrum. He just doesn't seem to be rated by Rassi. And when you've got Gerhard Stennekamp off of the bench, it seems to be that he is taking priority even when he's not starting. Like Brian Fenta, we've got to remember, he's only had maybe 3 or 4 Springbok caps throughout this season. So, in some regards, he is literally a newbie in this scenario. But he normally goes pretty well for Edinburgh. I do think partnering with Thomas du Toit is going to be a massive confidence booster for him. That Chicago game was awful, says Big Rig. And it's hard to fathom how big some of the box players are. If you haven't seen them up close at a meet and greet, they are huge. Says Ruby. Rassi Oda, thank you. 15-plus point win will do. It'll be a close game, but it will be a hard game that could go either way. Yeah, I think all of these sides that are taking place in matches today are just going to go out firing. Like France-Australia is going to be the exact same. You'd think that they'll go out hard on the sleeve, try and get the job done. My heart is bounding. Hey, buddy, says Zinley in there. Is it? That's our guest's name, and I believe in your profile picture too. Of course, name I'm bringing up the 50th match for the Springboks here. Did you see Ali Katoa news out for 2026? I did. Massive shame for that guy, but he shouldn't have even been in a scenario where he could have taken a head knock. It was really a terrible bit of work from the Tongan medical staff, and yeah, like there could be some quite serious outcomes from that situation. I put money on card controversy, says Duncan. And who was the man of the match for the All Blacks? I think they gave it to Wallace Satiti in the end, but Caleb Clark was definitely a close second with the way that he was playing throughout that fixture as well. Please box drops 40 plus on Ireland. They embarrassed my Wallabies last week, says Robert T. And what we will quickly do is we'll have a quick look through. At the moment, Ireland are $3.40 underdogs in this game up against South Africa. But what I want to look at, normally they have like power plays. Yes, they do. Both sides to receive a yellow card is $3. Where's the red card one? There's always a red card one. Not in this game. They've decided not to say any player to receive a red card. Normally it's about $6. For this game, it was probably about $2. There's a big game, Amy boy. It is. Huge game. And it has taken place in 15 minutes' time. It is very close to starting up. Of course, I want to know who you guys think will score the first try in this matchup. The exact player. We have got that Welsh head contact, a yellow card, lol, says Gary there. And because the box will be watching the ref, I like they are investigating a murder, says Big Rig Joe. Yeah, an all-English contingency in the refereeing department. It is Matthew Carley as the head ref for this contest. He's normally pretty decent overall. Like, I've never had a problem with Carley's refereeing. And Mark says Ruby for the first drive. Marks says Peter there. Seems like a common denominator here. And that is that Malcolm Marx that score himself early. Now, I always have to ask when it comes to when a hooker is predicted as the first try scorer, are we talking rolling maul or are we talking open play? Because the benefit that you've got with Malcolm Marx is he can do both, and he can do both extremely well. We have got there Chisholm Colby will get the first try. Says Martin, let's hope we start and end with 15 players both sides. Says Andre there. And also, come on, see ya. And party time, says McNulty. What's the weather like? Hopefully we get a weather report in the very near future. Currently, we've still got football being shown as the highlights here in New Zealand. But in about 4 minutes' time, we will get the update about the weather and everything like that, as well as any late changes that may have been made. I love your energy, mate. Says rough stuff. And there's, I think it's pretty obvious I'm excited for this game. It's one of those matches that when you look at it on paper, and I've looked through at the lineup so many times throughout the week, but you just get excited when these two sides are going to be playing each other. You know that there's going to be that rivalry building. There's going to be controversy out there on the field. There is absolutely no denying it. But one thing that is for sure is both of these sides are going to give 150%. And there will be bragging rights on the line. Rassie Erasmus, he has never won at the Aviva Stadium with the Springboks. And that is something that he would love nothing more than to be able to add to the massive list of accolades that that man has had. It has been 13 years since the Springboks have won in Ireland. 13. Now, there are not a lot of records like that around nowadays for the Springboks when it comes to losing. They have been breaking records time and time again. Back-to-back Rugby World Cup winners. They've got back-to-back Rugby championships in just recent times too. And alongside that, they have just been having a brilliant calendar year. Just the 2 losses, one to Australia, one to New Zealand. But the last thing that they will want is the third. Rassie not nominated for Coach of the Year. Is that about right? Says Gary. And Marksy will get the 2 tries tonight or today. Says Jason. And just imagine being at an Irish pub in Dublin tonight. It will be insane. I have to say the result of this match will heavily determine the mood at the end of the 80 minutes. Sasha is, I believe, is being groomed for captaincy. Is he? See, I haven't really got that feeling. I feel like he's just being pushed in the right direction to be a great player for the Springboks. I feel like they've got plenty of other captains just for now. They don't need to put that added pressure on Sasha. He seems to be playing his best rugby when he's playing pretty fearless. Mark should have won Player of the Year. Says War there. And we have got there, I imagine the Boks get a red card in the first 200 seconds. Honestly, if it happens, like any time in this matchup that we see TMO, we're going upstairs, everyone will be on the edge of their seats knowing that there's a little bit of a risk of some sort of card coming out. Hope Ireland prove Boks overhyped, says Duncan. You see, it's a tricky one because it's hard to say that they're overhyped when they are backing up literally everything that they are doing. Like back-to-back World Cups, back-to-back Rugby Championships, like I mentioned. Like, there's a reason that they've got so much hype at the moment. But the thing is, Ireland would love to be the side to be able to halt that momentum. Because, you know, this is the last game of the year for Ireland. South Africa get to play up against Wales next week. And I do think at this stage, you know, you're in that scenario that Wales should lose by a margin. Unfortunately, how the Pumas beat them. They beat them last year, not this year, in the Rugby Championship. Just the 2 losses so far throughout that calendar year. But, yeah, I don't know. You want to finish on a high. And I feel like for Ireland, that would be a massive booster for them if they were able to get some sort of victory here at the Aviva, even if it's by 1 point. Are people really expecting this game to be close? Ireland are average, 13 plus for the Springboks, says Freshman. I mean, if they hadn't won that game by such a big margin up against the Aussies, I would say that, like, don't get me wrong, South Africa come into this game with a lot of momentum. But, you know, I don't know. I feel like I want to see the game before I start making massive calls about who's going to win by big margins. I'm going South Africa by 3. That's my prediction, but I could be miles off. Nick Fuentes is who Mega is going for. Let's go the Bok. Thank you for your awesome work, Hamish. Respect to the Irish. Enjoy, guys. Says Paitai. I think if the Boks could get in, or gets in, could be a saw or seesaw coming from behind from Ireland. And Ireland by 7, says Leon there. I wish Quinton, says Duncan. But yeah, if you haven't already, let me know your score predictions. We are currently sitting 10 minutes away from the kickoff of this contest. We are getting extremely close to what will be, hopefully, test match of the year, or at least it is being built up like it will be. There have been some huge games for the Springboks throughout this season. The game up against the All Blacks at Eden Park, one that comes to mind. Their week after, up against the ABs in Wellington, the Rugby Championship as a whole. But this just feels a little bit different. North versus South. It's been a rivalry. I believe it is 6-4 in favour of the South at the moment, or at least that is what someone had on Instagram. They may have been picking and choosing what games that they select, of course. Watching the game on mute. Listen to your commentary, says Glad. And do ABs need to lose to Japan like South Africa? Says Mega, and Ireland by 20. Says Leon is his score prediction. The only way South Africa loses if Rassi wants a better draw at the World Cup. Although they can't actually go out of first place here for South Africa. If they were to lose by a massive margin and then lose again up against the Wales side next week by a massive margin, then definitely match fixing would get called into play. But no, Rassi can't change a lot in terms of his draw. But Ireland can change a lot when it comes to their draw. And we humbly walk towards being the greatest side ever. Up the box, says Brett, in there too. And what we will do while we have got just this little bit more time before the match does start up, we will go the Rugby World Rankings calculator and we'll work out exactly what is on the line for these two sides. It says a fair bit. Back now, boxed by 6, but very nervous, not confident at all. Says Haino there. This one is a must-win game just for bragging rights only. Ireland fans are yapping too much against the box. It feels a bit like being chased by chihuahuas. So, I mean, the thing is, though, they got the win up against the South Africans in South Africa. So, based on what we saw the last time that these two sides played, Ireland will feel confident that they can do it again. They haven't lost at the Aviva to South Africa in 13 years. So even during patches where Ireland have struggled, they still seem to be a little bit of a bogey team for the South Africans. But that does not mean, like I said, that it can't all change here and South Africa can go out and get themselves the big win. So Ireland can go up to 3rd place in the world rankings if they were to win this game. If they won it comfortably, by 16 plus, Ireland would go up to 2nd in the world, jumping above New Zealand and jumping above England. Now, on the other side of things, South Africa, if they win this game, they get themselves an extra plus 0.88. And if they win this game by a margin of 16 or more, they get a plus 1.32, which puts Ireland in a very vulnerable position that perhaps, I don't know what that exit was, that perhaps France can go above them, as well as maybe Argentina, if they got the big win over England. So, yeah, it is a must-win for both of these sides. And there could be a little bit of adjustment that takes place. Anyone know the weather conditions? It looks pretty nice at the Aviva by the looks of it. Of course, it's going to be a slightly later in the evening game, so it means there'll be a bit of dew around for this contest. Few handling errors, but it doesn't look like rain is on the cards for this contest, which is fantastic news. But Matthew Carley, he will be the referee in charge of this match. Sia Corlisi out there on the field as the two sides have made their way from the tunnel. We are about to have the national anthems, and then we are underway for this contest. Anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We have got plenty more coming on the channel in the near future. So, yeah, be sure to stick around, including South Africa versus Wales next week, which will be a very intriguing game with a very intriguing lineup from Rassi, because, of course, he is going to make those big rotations too. It's cold, says Jimbo, in terms of the weather too. So that won't help with the handling, I wouldn't think, if those fingers are struggling a bit. Now, the only way South Africa loses if Rassi wants a better draw at the World Cup. But once again, it can't actually change his World Cup draw in this matchup. We have got the I see a pattern in the last two matches. Therefore, my prediction is Ireland 20, South Africa 32. What's the score between Fiji and Spain now? I'll just have a very quick look while the national anthems are just about to start. But so many games of international rugby are taking place today, mate. Someone needs to offer you a professional gig. See, is Vestal there? Maybe one day. But for now, I'm more than happy doing these on YouTube. It has been absolutely awesome. Oh, okay, Fiji, Spain at the moment. Spain are leading with 8 minutes to go, 33-31. Also, close game between Portugal and Canada being led by the Portuguese. Uruguay beating Romania and Japan beating Georgia. They are some of the lower-ranked international games that have been taking place all throughout today. Hoping no cards for both sides. I hope so. Like, as long as there's no cards, this match has potential of being an absolutely incredible one. Is the box automatically in Pool A? Not necessarily. I know that Australia are. I think, do they randomise which... Oh, no, they might be in Pool A. If that's the case, then they'll be going up against the Aussies. I'm not sure if that's the case, though. There may be a little bit of a reshuffle, but the Irish rugby anthem about to be played. Then we will be underway for this contest. How's it from Somerset East and Port Elizabeth, my friend? Looking forward to hearing your commentary, says Basil. And also, we have got there 28 points to 22 in favour of the Bok. So yeah, a lot of close games predicted for this weekend, or at least in some of the matches. And this one is certainly one of them. Siya Kolisi introducing his Springboks side to the important Irish. I want to say that they're like up there in the rugby standings, or they might be up there in terms of royalty, the ones that they've got on the field. I always miss when they put up on the screen who they are, unfortunately. I know that they normally have that short fella. I think it's the president of Ireland, but he is not there for today. No cards and no injuries for both, and let's go, says Patrick. At least we can see some red cards, or at least we will see some red cards during this game. And a fair contest, Ireland can never win. It all comes down to the ref, says Johan Jacobs. You really hate referees, don't you, Johan? I don't know whether rugby's the sport for you, because fun fact, refereeing at the moment in rugby is almost at an all-time low. So I feel like you're going to go into every single game with a lot of frustration. He's not president anymore. Is this the new president, maybe? I wonder where the old guy who was usually there says Annoy. Yeah, see, I don't really follow Irish politics, unfortunately. That looks quite wet on the matting that they've put down. So perhaps a little bit of surface moisture for this matchup. And we have got there, it's a woman shaking hands, says Patrick. And Ireland probably need a few cards for the Bok to stand a chance. Caelan Doris having a good chat there. And WGF is Fiji doing? Says Robert T. Yeah, very close game at the moment between the two sides. It's their new president. Says Hayno's there. But while we are at it, while the national anthems are about to be played, we will look through at these starting lineups for these sides again. For the Irish, Andrew Porter, Dan Sheehan, and Tyke Furlong as the front row. They will have their hands full because they're going up against Brian Fenter, Malcolm Marks, and also Thomas Dutoy. In this matchup, James Ryan and Tyke Byrne, they are the locking duo for the Boks, and Ryan Beard, Josh van der Flair, and Caelan Doris make up the loose forward trio. I just realised I said for the Boks, for the Irish locking duo, but they will be going head-to-head with the Boks, and Eben Etzebeth, and also Ruan Nokia. Jamison Gibson Park and Sam Prendergast will be the 9 and 10 combination. Gibson Park is an absolute key for Ireland in this game. Bundyaki alongside Ringrose in that midfield combo. James Lowe, Tommy O'Brien, and also Mac Hansen slots in at 15 after getting himself the hat-trick in last week's game against Australia for South Africa. And their starting lineup, it is Brian Fenter, Malcolm Marks, and Thomas Dutoy. Three formidable scrummages. They also have got plenty of options off the bench with the Bulls replacements, Johan Robela, Gerhard Stennekamp, and also they have got Wilco Lowe. Eben Etzebeth and Ruan Nokia, a dangerous duo for the Boks there. Siya Kolisi alongside Peter Steph Dutoy and Jasper Vesa. They will be the loose ball trio. Kobus Reinach and Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu. They have been an absolute handful throughout 2025, always finding a way of creating chances on attack. Sasha scored a few tries himself. Reinach is the same. So you just get that feeling that if those two can find their rhythm, they're going to be very troublesome for this Irish defensive line. Damien Delendi alongside Jesse Creel in that midfield combination. Cheslin Colby finds himself out on the left wing, so a bit of a transition from what we did see last week. Kanan Moody out on the right, and Damien Valimza, he slots in as number 15. But those are the starting lineups. The national anthem's just now being sung, or one national anthem, one rugby anthem, and then we are underway for this match. At the Aviva, off the Irish bench, they have gone with the 5-3 split, avoiding the 6-2 for this contest. Jack Crowley, Craig Casey, Tom Farrell, all to make their way off as back replacements, but this front row, they will have to really muscle up throughout the time they're on. For South Africa, they've got Arias Neyman bringing up his 50th test cap for the South Africans, the hybrid players in Kwaka Smith, as well as Andre Esterhazen, then Grant Williams and Mani Libot to close out the match on a high, because those two have been a formidable duo for South Africa as well. Honestly, there's just so many informed players heading into this contest, and I just don't know who's going to win. You know, it's one of those matches that we really hope it delivers, because if it doesn't, it will be kind of sad. Irish won 4 of the last 5, and they have not lost to South Africa in Ireland for 13 years. Rassie has never got a win at the Aviva with the Springboks. But tell you what, if there was ever going to be a side that were able to do it, it would be his current group of players. As a South African, I would have preferred no singer of our anthem over this person, says Inferno. Love your commentary, says Adam. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. How's it, everyone? Don't be fooled by my name. I'm a South African and behind the box all the way, says Sean. And silence during the anthem, says Mega. And the box will win comfortably, even if there is a crazy call from the TMO or the ref. Box will come through, says Jenna. Yeah, there's been a huge amount of confidence throughout this week from Springboks supporters. The Springboks themselves, they have said that they feel like they're in for a very close game here up against the Irish. Box won't win here, says Casper, and also it's like a boxing match, two heavyweights with great records facing off, says Boy 10. And sometimes in those type of matches, it's the same in the UFC. When you get two great heavyweight contenders, sometimes they can have a really terrible fight. But every once in a while, they have a fight of the year. And this game out there at the Aviva, it could be fight of the year for these two sides. They are definitely going to be in the right mindset. And you just get that feeling it's going to be hard hitting. You hope everyone keeps it below the neck. Southern Hemisphere for 3 wins today, says Maga, and South Africa really strong. Records are broken. And they are meant to be, records are records and they are meant to be broken. And come on, Ireland, says Patrick there too. Box by 20, says Avril. And some people are just infatuated with Japan, says Mr. Bovril. And styles make fights, you know, says Taiwan. Exactly right. And stylistically, these two sides have shown to have a chess match each and every time that they play each other. Big round of applause here for the Irish. Was that their actual national anthem, that first part? I wasn't actually listening. I probably should have been for the Irish. Now it is going into the Ireland rugby anthem. You are legend at sneezing and commentary, Hamish, says John Mills. And I Hamish, you excited because of the general odds? I am thoroughly excited for this game. You just get that feeling like it's going to be a great game. And if it's a terrible stop-start type of matchup, I will be probably sad for about 2 months. So we want to see a good game here. And hopefully that's what we'll get. Japanese attitude to rugby is awesome. And Box will win, especially if they play with 14 men, says Leon. Yeah, their last 2 games getting red cards. One for Ludiacha, one for Franco Mostert, one of which was rescinded. That was the Mostert one, but Rassi going against choosing him in this lineup. Would have been hard to put him in, whether or not you were taking out Eben Etzebeth or Argis Neyman, even though it would have been his 50th match. So there's probably no way of going through. Irish soccer will never sing this song, says Hanoi. And also we have got their formalities are taking longer than the game. Shish, says Sakabula. Yeah, they are currently about 3 minutes late starting in this contest, but they did underestimate the time of shaking hands. Caelan Doris, he's already wearing the battle wounds for this contest. Bit of a knock on the neck, bit of a black eye by the looks of it already, but he is ready to go for this game. We have got the hello from Johannesburg. Enjoy your commentary, says Dottie. Thank you very much. Anyone who is new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 80,000 and we are getting there at a very quick rate, almost 77,000 already. So if you haven't already, be sure to become one of those 186 to get us towards that 77 mark. We have got there, I'm going with Sam Prendergast to get a yellow card, says Hey No Sports Hub, and no cards. You do know South Africa has 3. They're a TMO, says Marius. And the Box are just in a different league. And Ireland, or Irish, put up a class show. Can't wait, let's go the Box. But yeah, the technicalities and the pre-match is done and dusted. And we are now ready to go for this match. Anyone who hasn't already, let me know your score prediction. Let me know who you think the player will be who scores the first try in this matchup, because it is just around the corner. What is considered as one of the bigger matches of the year. I know that both of these teams don't like when you say that because it puts added pressure on their nations, but it is going to be a heavyweight clash of epic proportions with a little bit on the line in the world rankings as well. If the Irish were to lose this game by a hefty margin, they would go down in the rankings. If they were to win by a big margin, they would go up to second in the world rankings with a very good shot of finishing number 2 in the world at the end of 2025. But already Zombie is being played at the Aviva. Who has that song out of these two sides? It's a little bit of a split. I know South Africa have tried to claim it as their own, but the Irish are singing it loud and proud at the moment, trying to fire up their team for this contest, which I don't even know if we can call a contest. It's going to be a battle out there on the field. It is going to be 80 minutes of some of the most brutal rugby that we will see this year. Eben Etzebeth will take the first try, says Beer, and Zombie playing, says Sakabola. in there as well. But Matthew Carley, he is in charge. The English referee. It is all England when it comes to the TMOs and the assistants for this matchup. The Irish will be receiving the kickoff. Sasha Feinberg, Ngume Zulu, a future great for the Boks, will be kicking this one off from left to right. And at the Aviva, in front of a sold-out crowd, we are underway for this contest. And Sasha kicking it off high and down towards the Irish 22, going up with the ball nicely, claimed by Beard, who gets a louder cheer for taking that ball than some sides get for scoring a try. Ball on the outside to James Lowe, who's looking for the 50-22 early. Cleaned up, Sasha inside of his 22 will kick it back downfield. That is a mammoth boot from the young 10. Now Prendergast steps around Sasha Feinberg, Ngume Zulu, ball hanging in the sky off the kick, slapped back by Ireland. Sheehan has the ball in open space. Wrestled down 40 metres out from their own line. Sasha, already heavily involved in the early stages. I believe we're going to see a lot of him and Sam Prendergast throughout this contest. James Lowe going for the kick in behind, but it finds the hands of Cheslin Colby, who will kick an up and under of his own. Players scrambling all over the place. All ball left alone by the Irish. Little bit of a risky tactic there. Valimza offloads to Bundyaki. Quick tempo in the early stages of this match. Long ball for Dace. Says Magger, and the early penalty goes the way of the Irish. And off the feet from Malcolm Marks. But that is a big statement for the first minute of this contest in terms of if this is the tempo that they're going to play throughout 80 minutes, there's going to be some very tired players by the end of this matchup, but some huge hits, some nice collisions already taking place as well. But Sam Prendergast kicking that one into touch. Love seeing your excitement, Hamish, says Stephanie. And can Sasha even kick the ball? Hamish, says John Mills. He will be tested big time here. They haven't gone with Andre Pollard across the 23 for the Boks, which does mean they don't have someone to fall back on when it comes to that goal kicking, although they do have Marty Libok, who has increased his goal kicking accuracy throughout this season as well. Gibson Park, an underrated half. He is one of the best in the world in that number 9 jersey. He proves it each and every week for the Irish. Big run forward from Josh van der Fleer. 25 metres out from the line. The Irish on attack with Dan Sheehan. He's had captaincy opportunities throughout this year. Prendergast thought about going wide, but he's tackled low by Jasper Vesa. Now, looking both ways, Gibson Park going back across to the right. Ireland getting themselves set in the middle of the field. Jasper Vesa looking for the turnover, and he gets it there. Initially looked like he came in the side, but adjusted himself a little bit, and already a back and forth push there between between it was Cobus Reinach and Jameson Gibson Park. We're going to see the replay now. Does he come through the gate there, Vesa? 45-degree angle getting in there, but he was locked over the ball and does win the penalty for his side. And go the Bokke, says Colleen. And please mention where the players on the field as well. So currently Sasha will be kicking this one towards the touchline from 22 metres out from South Africa's line. This one's going to be booted into touch. And the halfway line now, line out chance here for South Africa. Both sides winning an early penalty in the breakdown. Josh van der Fleer can't clean out. Says Hanos. And also all good thanks to and you, says Philip. And Pollard had to play, says Mohuddin. And that penalty, did you see the AB's game? WGF, says Johan, thrown in, beautifully taken by Peter Steph-Toy, and the Rolling Maul starts up already a penalty advantage in favour of the Springboks. Now they've built up quite a skill in recent times. Nice run from Damien Delendi, offloads to Jasper Vesa. But the skill of South Africa is to play a game under advantage. 90% of the matchup now. Peter Steph-Toy, ball on the outside. Valimza in the corner. Scores the early try. And he is looking at the crowd at the moment. Obviously, someone said something to him. He is doing the ears thing as well, telling the crowd to shut up as he has scored the first try of this contest. But sounds like they are checking it for Damian Valimza. But a big statement made by South Africa. That pass from Peter Steph-Toy was flat, but a good finish in the corner from Damian Valimza. Oh, okay, crowd making some oohs and ahs. They may just... Nah, he's fine there. Damian Valimza, that is a very nice finish in the corner as they take the lead and shushing the crowd. Damian Valimza after scoring it. Making the statement early for the Irish. Oh, sorry, for the Springboks, I should say. 1 second, we'll go like this. We'll go like that as well. We will get the try scorers up on the screen. Kick from Sasha, coming round, but just misses away to the left-hand side. So not quite the start off the tee that he would have liked, but it was a tough kick, 0 from 1. What are they checking for? Red cards there, Sean? Okay, that answers that question. So here's Ruby there. Yeah, good finish in the corner from Damien Valimza. And Irish getting carrots to add to that Irish green salad. And Rassi fired up with that first try too. You can see that there is quite a bit of tension between both of these sides. Oh, bit of a juggle there from Visa off the kickoff, but manages to claim it. Yeah, it was forward. So here's Eric there. Now rolling this one back. Kubis Reinach told to use it by Matthew Carley. Does go up high with it just inside of his own 22. That one's gone almost into touch, but well slapped back by the South Africans, keeping the ball alive, but it has gone forward. So now Ireland, chance on the counter-attack. Bundyaki, rush defence from Colby. Manages to shut down Gary Ringrose. Gives him Park. Looking left-hand side again. Colby off his wing, but now runs out there. Gets the fend off. James Lowe has the man with him. Sheehan, couldn't quite link up with him. 20 metres out for the line now for Ireland. Looking to fire straight back after conceding a try of their own. Bundyaki running forward. Nice delayed pass from Hansen. Gets it to Tommy O'Brien. Crowd cheering for him. That's no arms from Sasha there. This could be danger for the Springbok number 10. Ringrose gets in his face. But that was a deliberate shoulder charge from Sasha Feinberg, Ngumea Zulu, and the youngster may have got himself in a bit of trouble here. The Irish calling for a shoulder charge. They do actually have a fair argument there because there is no arm wrap whatsoever from Sasha. Oh, no, that's just a shoulder from Sasha. I wanted to say for a start, it looked like the arm was coming round. Both these sides pushing and shoving back and forth, but this could be trouble for Sasha here. And there is still... the referee's trying to get control of this game. Nah, that's nothing, says Haino. It was something, and they are probably going to check this one. And South Africa by 20. That was stupid from Feinberg and Mazuli. Yeah, I think they were going to drive him into touch anyway. It's the worst part of it. I think that there was enough defence there. Peter Steff had him handled. But they're going to be checking it now. Hello there, Hamish. Says Marius. And left arm wrap, right arm turn into contact. I don't know what anybody say. Oh, I don't care what anybody says. Here's Young Coast. Yeah, they are going upstairs. And they are going to check the TMO. Not even a penalty, says Matsutendai. And penalty only, says Alumi there. Right, they're checking for potential no arms. Now, from one angle, it looks like Sasha's left arm was about to wrap. It looks really bad from that angle. This angle looks a little bit better because you see initially one arm comes into it. Now, that shoulder makes contact first. From that angle. Oh, the angles aren't helping Sasha here, ladies and gents. Thank you very much, Philip, by the way. I never actually read that out, did I? But yeah, greatly appreciated for your donation. And they'll probably give him a straight red. It's the right arm that we're seeing there from Sasha, driving him towards the sideline. There's slight head contact, they've said. It was a great tackle from Peter Steff Toy. He was actually driving him out initially himself, Peter Steff. This looks bad for Sasha. Shoulder always makes contact first, says Sandor. Do you think it's red? I don't think it will be red. But I think it's possibly going to be yellow. Oh no, Matthew Carley. He says penalty restart, no yellow card for Sasha Feinberg, Ngumea Zulu. So it is going to be the penalty to the Irish just out from the line. The crowd are not happy. And Sasha, if you get a red in the first 3 minutes while they went upstairs, says Tommy, they did. And they did rule it as not severe enough. Hamish, do you think it's yellow? I've seen them given as yellows before. And great call, says the Buzzman there. And fix, says Patriot Islanders. Okay, ref counting South African money, I bet, says Dennis. Okay. So Caelan Doris was just asking about it, and referee says, I'm giving it as just a penalty. It was on the arm and then rode up. So because of that, it does remain as a penalty. The Irish kick it into touch, and they'll be 5 metres out from the line now with an opportunity to attack. We have got there, yes, our big boy says Bear there, and penalty says Ruth. And there as well, Dan Sheehan to throw that ball. I can see it as a yellow. Yeah, it's one of those ones, we've seen it as yellows before, we've seen it as penalties before, so it could have gone either way in that scenario, but currently the Irish, they are looking to score themselves a try. Rush defence from Kane and Moody shuts down the Irish backline. Ryan Beard now crashing. Malcolm Marks trying to get that turnover. Ball slightly behind Caelan Doris, so there was a bit of hesitancy. Be able to grab that one. Looking to use it out wide, maybe Ringrose, no, first of all, just takes the run himself. Now Gibson Park recycles again. Sam Prendergast, little pop pass up to Mac Anson, ball on the outside. James Lowe, inside pass to Tommy O'Brien. He almost looked like he wasn't ready for it. Ireland get the turn, South Africa get the steal. It was Thomas du Toit who gets in there. He is often known as that man who's able to get the steal and breakdowns. And he's done it again. Yellow for me too as a neutral, says Big Rig. And how's that a warning for both teams? That one's going to be kicked downfield from Cobus Reinhardt, looking to clear the lines and does just that, so that they narrowly survive on their goal line, the box. Tommy O'Brien, I don't think he almost looked like he was ready for the pass. He just looked a little bit slow to react in the first instinct. No arms, but didn't get him in the head. It's a penalty only as fair, says Alami there. And World Rugby cornered themselves with the cards, now giving South Africa a card. It's like walking on thin ice, says so. And now taken nicely by Ireland. He's landed awkwardly, and it will be a not straight throw from the Irish. So South Africa do have the option now, going for either the free kick or the repeat line out. Thomas du Toit, says Haino's there. And thank God they didn't ruin the game with the card. Says Vuyo there. And cards ruin the game that the boys play. Well done, ref, thank you, sir. And weight difference in the scrums, please, says Pitbull. I don't think we've had a scrum as of yet in the scenario, but we're about to have the first one, which will tell us the pack weights. I'd assume that they're both that 900-ish. 904 for South Africa, 893 for Ireland. Weight difference in the scrum, so only about 11 kgs difference in favour of the box. But when they have got the scrum feed, South Africa, it just feels like a whole different ballpark. They have that extra 100 kgs of force that seems to go through their side. So I feel like that's what we're going to see here. And a big push there from the South Africans. They get themselves a penalty advantage. Reinhardt goes across to Damien Dearlendy, pops it in behind to Sasha Fainberg. Hands with a big driver tackle and passed on the outside. Look close to forward. Out to Kane and Moody. 50 metres out from the line. Jesse Creel with a pick and go. He's shut down quickly by Doris. Trying to get that turnover in the breakdown. Were the Irish. They made about 30 metres from that scrum, so you'd assume advantage would be close to over for the Springboks. Sasha tries a little rough kick, and the ball taken back by Ireland, so the advantage was over in that scenario. Ball's there. Gibson Park back into the pocket to Sam Prendergast. Looking for a bit of a cross kick towards the sideline. Sia will leave it alone, and 30 metres out from the Springboks line, they have got themselves a scrum feed. Are you in a bit red when Thomas turned that ball over? Good man, says Pleasant Tees. And also we have got there Sasha, better play, a brilliant game to justify that tackle, says Hunsey. And someone slaps Sasha, he needs to wake up, says Haynos. Well, that's the thing. When he was looking at that replay in the TMO, he probably thought he was going to the bin. So he's got to get that mentality back out there, Sasha. Because when he is on song, he can be so dangerous. There was a weird advantage, his burning lash, nicely claimed by the South Africans. And now Seal Corlisi running it straight at Dan Sheehan and Josh van der Fleer. We have there, can the referee blow the whistle when Ireland is offside? Says Johan. And to me, no arms tackle with head contact is a yellow. Says Big Rig. Now going high, Kane and Moody slapping it back. There isn't an knock-on advantage against Ireland. Now Sasha kicking down the middle of the field. Advantage is now over. Ball bouncing, sits up for Mac Hansen, who was playing number 15 for this game. It's kicked high by Hansen. Hard chase from James Lowe to make the tackle on Valimza in the air. He did release him, though, as he was coming down, so I think it was allowed. And Sasha needs to work on his discipline, but awesome player. I'll note they are going back for that penalty for James Lowe, tackling in the air. And Sasha stopped kicking possession away. Says Trot there. And box scrum a big lift and push. Says Ruth. I also wish Sasha can stop kicking, says Sue, but yeah, just ends up making the tackle there. James Lowe. And Sasha needs to work on his discipline, but awesome player. And where are they on the field at the moment? South Africa are kicking that one towards the touchline. Oh, that one's almost gone backwards from Sasha Fainberg, Ngumazulu, but they will be about 35 metres out from their own line, the box. with this line out. Box kicks are becoming the new normal for rugby, says Aria. Do you think Andre Pollard should be in the starting lineup, says Blake Gray? In this scenario, I don't think that Sasha was the wrong choice. He just hasn't started in the same way that he has been playing in his other matches. You know, that Reinach-Sasha combo was always going to be the starting duo up against Ireland, but it seems like Sasha's feeling the pressure a little bit more in this contest. Nice take from Evan Etzebeth, and line out time. Sia Kolisi running it up. Tackled again by Dan Sheehan. No arms tackle is a yellow, no arms tackle, contact to the head is red. It's how the rest have gone in past years, for example. And we want Pollard, says Haino. That one's going to be kicked high by Kobus Reinach. Oh, that ball going to be claimed by Dan Sheehan. Looked like it was close to a knock-on for James Lowe, but I believe all the ball hit Eben Etzebeth. Now, that ball's hit the head of Bundyaki. That's a bit of a loose pass, but it is cleaned up by Ireland and Gary Ringrose. Ruck was already formed, so Dialendi told to get out of it. Now Doris just setting this one in the middle of the field. Good clean out from the Irish, and the breakdown again. He is in a pressure cooker. Let's see how he handles it. Not so well, too far. And Sasha is our future. Glad he is starting the experience. Will do him good, says Connor. Now this one be a roll back. Jameson Gibson Park sends this one up high. Score still 5-0 in favour of the South Africans off the early try of Damien Willemse, who's just dropped that ball backwards, I thought, but the referee has called it as a knock-on. So it is going to be now the scrum for the Irish. Marty will come on and set up 35 points, says Sandor. And that is where South Africa have got a massive bonus, is the fact that they can have a guy coming off the bench in Marnie, who has been in some tremendous form throughout 2025 and completely change the game. But similar to what we've seen for New Zealand and Damien McKenzie throughout the Rugby Championship, of being able to make that little switch that then just brings you up another gear for the later stages. South Africa scored first. South Africa's indiscipline referred to upstairs. South Africa winning a first scrum penalty, says Tommy. And Ireland are not too new, Sasha. He plays URC, says Sock. That is true. A lot of these guys do play against each other in the URC competition. And evening all, Ireland panicking early. Box playing great. I'd say it's the feeling out process at the moment for both of these teams. We've seen a bit of stop-start. We've seen some open play. That first 90 seconds was about as hectic as it could have been. Run off the back from Caelan Doris, shut down early by Kobus Reinach. Now running this one forward, James Ryan, easy there, Hamish. Damien has flashes of Lebok-like brilliance, says Sandor. He does as well. They're like, that timing of it wasn't saying that Damien Willemse is the one going off the field for Marnie either. But yeah, it seems to be that combination of Sasha and Marnie seems to be able to really get something special going. Now, Reinach going back across, but we're talking about as well Damien Willemse. He's not getting taken off early. He was player of the match last week up against the Italians. Ball is stolen by the South Africans. Brian Fenter now in possession. Porter looking for that ball, but he's shut down by Nokia in the breakdown. They're being told to use it. Oh, that ball's not coming out. Still told to use it again for Reinach. And now gets that ball out. Now looks like Reinach will go again for the box kick option. Or he might look back into the pocket to Sasha, but instead goes himself here. I was talking about D-Mac, says Sandor. Oh wait, Damien has flashes of... Well, that's what I said, how they were similar. I said that they both had that impact off of the bench of being able to change a game. So I agree. He has D-Mac, or Damien and Lebok both have attacking flashes of brilliance. 15 minutes gone in this contest. Still 5-0 for South Africa. We have got there, go Lebok, you got to win this game. Or you're going to win this game, says Alini. Now ball going high. Cheslin Colby knocking it on under the high ball. Something that is not very often for Cheslin. Ball's still going to be there for the Irish. Jameson gives a back, goes across to Tyke Furlong, pops into behind Prendergast. Ringrose decides to kick it himself, looking for a 50-22. That ball is curling, but it is going down the middle. Yeah, you love money. That's why we love you, says Sandor. Your commentary is good. Our network should snatch you up. Oh, penalty. Who is this in favour of? The Irish, it will be. Okay, rush defence and players never retreating is the comment there from Matthew Carley. The Irish are so vocal, it starts to feel like we're playing the English. Says so. And Colby under pressure. Says Ruth there. You're going head-to-head in this contest up against Tommy O'Brien. Colby being very good, my opinion, says Hanos. Yeah, just a shame wasn't able to hang on to that one, Colby. Sideline only works for the box. As it were, it's a little bit slippery underfoot by the looks of it. at this point in time. Like, it isn't raining, which is great news, but it is cold. So it's going to be a little bit impacting how these two sides are able to play early, I would think, while they adjust. Why are they getting under our box skin? Says Sandor, that is a good question, but if any side has been able to get under the skin of the South African supporters, it's not so much the team. The team seemed to be, well, to be fair, there was a bit of push and shove earlier on. That was because of a shoulder charge, but slapping it away, Etzebeth manages to get the line out still. That one's going to go into touch, but I believe it's going to be ruled as is it a knock-on? It's going to be a knock-on against Etzebeth. Territory stats 2, please. Says put Pitbull in there as well. 1 second, we will quickly get them up while we wait for this line-out throw of the Irish. And we have got there Colby versus James Lowe. In this case, because of Cheslin Colby being on the left wing, he's up against, well, at least he should be on the left wing, which means that he should be going head-to-head with O'Brien. But James Lowe has floated in the back line overall. Has really been moving all around the place, but now looking for the rolling maul here for the Irish. We will get those stats in a moment, but Bundy Aki pops it back to Prendergast. Going for the kick in behind. Didn't get anywhere near enough weight on that kick, but they'll go back for another penalty. We've got there, bring Arigi on. Who are you bringing him on for in this scenario? The last 10 minutes of possession has been 72% in favour of the Boks, but the possession stat at the moment, territory 60% for Ireland, and 57% possession for South Africa. And Colby a G, says Maga. And Colby is 11, and James Lowe is 11 too, which means that they're on opposite sides of the field for left wing, right wing. He is on James Lowe's wing though. Yeah, they normally float a little bit, which is interesting. I think that Colby may actually be defending as a 14 in this case, which is why he's out on that side. But yeah, in terms of normally on the field, you'd have your 11 up against their 14 and the 14 up against an 11. But, I mean, if anyone's going to do it differently, it's going to be Rassi. Just look at the stats, guys. As long as you avoid them after the knockout stages, you've got nothing to worry about, says Thomas. But now, Sam Prendergast ready to line up this one. And he's hit the post. It bounces back out, and James Lowe takes it nicely for the Irish. Wasn't part of the plan, but it's turned into a great attacking opportunity for Ireland after denying themselves the 3. Now Gibson Park goes across the fur line, but this is where you need to score if you are Ireland. Now across, Josh Van der Fleer almost through. Brilliant last-ditch tackle made by Eben Etzebeth. Ringrose cutting back inwards. The Boks trying to get all over him. In that breakdown, Sasha, I don't know how illegal it was him trying to steal that ball in the way that he did, but it is still going to be on the side of Ireland. They have been told to stay on side here for the Springboks. They got offside, but over the line. Byrne does get the grounding, and Ireland fire back into this contest. And it is the big man Byrne in the number 5 jersey. He did get himself red carded up against New Zealand. And now gets a big try. Hang on, they're checking it. They're going to be checking for that clean out in the breakdown on Malcolm Marx first, I believe. See whether or not there was something illegal about it. It did look like an Irish player came running from a long way back. The Ireland number 4, James Ryan, is what they're going to be checking for here in this breakdown. We're going to see the replay. Right, shoulder charge to the chest of Malcolm Marx. They say you're not allowed to go off your feet at ruck time. He has hit him in the chest. There is no head contact. In fact, he's probably hit him closer to the sternum there. Oh, that angle there is head contact first, actually. There is, sorry, my apologies. From the other angle, it looked like he hit him into the midsection first. But from that other angle, that is head contact on Malcolm Marx diving in over the breakdown. This is probably going to be a red card to James Ryan. Okay, no chest is red card, says Venom. No, in this case, that other angle made it look like chest. From there, it's a shoulder charge to the jaw of Malcolm Marx. I've said there, it's not really glancing. It's a nasty blow. The dynamic had him falling over that player. This sounds like it's going to be at least a yellow card. It will be a yellow card for James Ryan, and the try disallowed for Tyke Byrne. So we will be taking that one back, and now it is up to the TMO to decide whether or not that one is worthy of a red card here for James Ryan, or whether it will just remain as the 10 minutes off of the park. And it should be a straight red card. If that was boxed, there was a straight red biased refs. Although, to be fair, a lot of refs would have given Sasha a yellow too. So I feel like we're in that scenario how, I think both sides are probably slightly annoyed, but at the same time, both sides probably consider themselves lucky as well. That one's going to be kicked high. Charging after this one, Mac Hansen. Nice take of the mark inside of his 22 from Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu. And Sasha didn't make head contact. He didn't, but he had no arms, which has been ruled as a yellow card multiple times throughout November already. Everyone is guilty, says Original Venom. Now, Sam Prendergast kicking this one up high. And that one goes into touch on the full mistake from Prendergast. All of a sudden, red cards don't exist. Must have used them all in the last two games, says Stephanie. And they are afraid to give South Africa a red card. Box might shift to another gear, like their last two games, says Demi. A straight in the face is very different, says Francois. It is, which is why I'm not disagreeing that it was at least a yellow card. But I also think that, like I mentioned, for Sasha's one, we have seen those given before. I'm not saying that I would. Well, to be fair, I said that it's probably going to be a yellow, but, we've seen them given. We've seen that given as a red card. It's one of those ones that, both sides probably wanted the opposition to have an upgrade. Hey, yep, Marks, you heard it yourself, not Marks, says Pleasantry. And Sasha head contact, watch it again, says Patriot Islanders. What's that current position on the field? Currently 40 metres out from the line for the Springboks. Skip pass out wide. Sasha Feinberg, Ngumez Zulu passes it to Moody. It's charged down by Mac Hansen. We all want 15 on 15, no excuses then. And man, only 20 minutes in, and I've aged 10 years, says Sakabula. And come on, Pollard, says Bevan. And if they've been a South African, it'd be a straight red, says Rank. And don't worry, Hamish, you're more consistent than World Rugby, says Evan. Now ready to throw it in, Malcolm Marks. 22 minutes at a card scare already. Ready to throw it in. That looked like maybe Ryan Beard closed that gap a little bit at line-out time, although it's not going to matter as South Africa go to the back where it wasn't contested. Sasha goes across now. Damien Dialendi finds the hands of GC Krill. One more pass on the outside of Damien Dialendi. In fact, it was Damien Valimza. He kicks it into touch, but it has deflected off an Irish player. So again, the South Africans will have themselves the line-out. We as players are taught to play the game until the whistle blows to play on. As red all day long, he lost the plot at an earlier ruck and then hit this one always illegal. Says Simon, I wouldn't be surprised if it gets upgraded to a red card for James Ryan because there aren't a lot of factors that are actually working in his favour in that scenario. You look at it and there's contact to the head. He's coming from a distance. He's lost his footing. So, I'd be surprised if it doesn't get upgraded to that 20-minute red card. Love your commentary. It's greeting from an Irish supporter in Germany. Says Sarsfield. So, it is greatly appreciated. It's going to be a knock-on from Reinach. And Ireland managed to take that ball back 30 metres out from their own line. Now Prendergast going across to James Lowe. He thought about a cross kick, but I think they need to rethink that tactic at the moment for the Irish as it's given away the ball multiple times. Hope it remains a 15-on-15 contest. Well, at the moment it's 15-on-14. Andrew Porter, inside of the Irish 22. They will look to kick this one downfield. Low, says Michael in there. Welcome in. Now Sam Prendergast casually kicks that ball into touch. Hectic start, says Roof. It absolutely has been. There'll be 3 red cards if it was the Bok. Says Sandor. It's not fair though, says LB. It should have been a straight red card, not 20 minutes. Why are the last different for the Boks compared to other teams, says LB. And also the point is able to sync the stream to the actual game as it plays out, says Matsu Tendai. So currently at the moment we are 23 minutes and 40 through this contest. Malcolm Marks just about to throw this one in. Onto the front nicely to Eben Etzebeth. Back to Reinach. Now Sasha kicking it up high again, looking for Kane and Moody, waiting for this one to come down. Mac Hansen slapping it back onto the side of Ireland. So again, Sasha gives away possession. Big kick downfield from Tommy O'Brien, but he kicks it out on the full. Seems like at the moment Ireland have all that width of the field, but they have decided to kick it into touch multiple times. Hey, let's go the Bok. Here's Justin. Now we have got there because being the best, you are always the target. Says Jason. All the South Africans crying and whinging earlier And the week seems to be paying off, says Eric. And I Hamish says Farouk. And who scored the first try? The first try was Damien Valimza in the 4th minute. We've seen a disallowed try for Tyke Byrne. But other than that, no tries throughout the first 25 minutes of the contest. I'm ready to throw this ball in again. Nicely taken by Peter Steftoy Reinach. Going across there, Dialende finds Creel, who was almost able to pierce a gap. And that Irish defensive line, but it was a good tackle made by Prendergast. Vesa does go through. Offloads forward to Ruan Nokia. They will check this one more than likely as it was a forward pass. But now Vesa going round the side. 1 metre out from the line for the Irish. For the Springboks. Now around the side by Fenter. It's going to be disallowed though. That one was forward by a metre. And they will be checking it to make sure. But it is a shame that it's Brian Fenter who has popped up with that ball. I'm a Box supporter. I'm getting irritated with all this whinging. As Hamish says, Sasha, I was super lucky. Stop whinging. Says Aiko there. Hello, says Pooja there. Welcome in. And forward says Demi. Yeah, it was a forward pass from Jasper Vesa into the hands of Ruan Nokia. It was about a metre or forward pass. So it is going to be disallowed, and they are going to check this one upstairs. And half Irish team is foreign. Says One Fish Brain. And we have there forward says Connor there, and high says Jotam. Welcome in. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're excited for the rest of this game. It has been a hectic one so far between these two sides. Still bringing commentary, but Hamish considering not watching the visual. So yeah, this one's going to be ruled out for Jasper Vesa. And his forward pass. Brian Fenter, it's unfortunate for him because he has had a bit of a rough run for the Box. I would have loved nothing more than to get that one. The physical battle, describe this winning currently, please. Says Sander, describe who's winning, I assume you're saying there from Sander. But yeah, it's been physical at the moment between these two sides. A massive hit being put in. Legal ones alongside the illegal from both sides. Whining is fine. It helps us cope with unfairness. Be tolerant and let us be. Says so on there from South Africa. Was happy it was not a red. We want a solid contest, 15 versus 15. Says Ken there. It's probably the first South African who said that they didn't want it to be a red card. Interesting. And ref is good tonight. Says Francois, excuse my manners. Says Dan. A great game so far. So it is going to be the scrum beat now for the Irish, sitting about 15 metres out from their try line. And go the Box, says Marion Unfairness. You got most of the decisions so far this game, says Anthony. And we have the World Cup says otherwise, says Megan. I'd like a 15-15 game too. South African here, says Rian. And what happens with Sasha? He's currently struggled a little bit, to be honest. He hasn't looked his normal attacking self, although it normally only takes one big break for Sasha to find the rhythm. That was a big scrum from South Africa against the feed, but not receiving the ball. It's Ed Doris looking to run this one forward. Now, low tackle made on Tyke Furlong. That breakdown stayed there for a very long time afterwards with Sia, Sasha, Bundy, and Gary. I like the wings. Hamish says feeling music. Oh, Eben almost got himself offside. And that one hasn't found touch for Jameson Gibson Park. Looks like it will be Damien Valimza kicking this one back downfield. And he's gone up and got the ball as well. Offload on the outside. Jasper Vesa. This time it's gone back with Sasha kicking the ball away once more. Is it going to go in a touch? No, it goes in the in-goal area. And that is about the 4th kick now from Sasha. That has been a mistake in that number 10 jersey. Well, there you go. The Box says Marion. Oh, right. They are going upstairs to tell us what the decision is going to be on that red or yellow card. I don't see many things that saves James Ryan in this situation. I didn't mean to say sitch. I've never used the word sitch in my life to shorten situation. It will be upgraded to a 20-minute red card, which means Ireland will be playing with the 14 for another 13 minutes. High degree of danger, no mitigation. James Ryan is gone from this match. Always Aligo should have been a straight red, says LB there. Like they said, a rush of blood to the head from James Ryan. It makes it worse that they did actually score in the process. He's under instruction to kick forward. Says home business. Well, they need to change that plan because they did the same tactic up against the French with Sasha, and as soon as they told him to start playing his running game, that is when they were at their most effective. Now this ball's going to be kicked high by Sasha again. This time, knock on from the Irish. That is going to favour South Africa here as they will be able to get themselves The scrum fee, no good. When I realised Pollard isn't in 15, it's for Limsa. Only come back to no change and recap what happened. So here's Bevan. And we have got the, how many minutes are we at the moment? We are 27 and a half minutes through this fixture. South Africa will have the man advantage for another 12 minutes of this contest. And South Africa needs to take advantage of 15 versus 14. And it's not moaning about Sashi got rattled early. He only needs a small gap to turn on. It's like some people aren't Springbok fans, says King of Kings. Yeah, he only needs that one big moment. We saw that in the game up against Argentina. When the Argentines scored, Sasha seemed like he found that next gear. So maybe he just needs the Irish to score to be able to really find that attacking and dangerous flair mentality that he normally has. Or perhaps a big moment like this, advantage at scrum time again for the South Africans. Damien Dealende goes off to Jesse Krill. Couldn't quite get his offload away. James Lowe getting in the breakdown. And they will go back for the initial penalty. But why is Sasha kicking possession away? Stupid kicks doesn't win matches. I think it's a part of the tactics. It seems to be the same as what we saw up against the French. They were pretty much in that same scenario of Sasha was in charge of kicking. And it was once Marnie Libok made his way onto the field that they changed that game and went for the attacking running game. And that was when South Africa scored the points. We need Marnie, says Norris. And there comes South Africa, take them out from Jacqueline and Wichita. And the USA, says Jacques. And how much the ref get paid, says Scott. Moody should have started in the midfield, says Sandor. But, and then I assume you're saying Ethan Hooker out on the wing, maybe? What is the score at the moment? The score is 5-0, about to be 10-0. Because South Africa are in a very good position with this rolling maul. And from this type of distance, they are incredibly hard to stop. And they will get this one moving forward now. 10 metres out from the try line. Ball is in the hands of Malcolm Marks. It's doing a little bit of the sideways shuffle. Marks still waiting for it. They're being told to use it once. Dragged down by the Irish. There could be another yellow coming their way if they're not careful. Playing Dublin Ireland. Sasha's going to score. Ireland commentators sound like cheerleaders. Sasha's kicking because the coach is telling him to do so. Hey, do what your coach says or you get subbed off. Says Kings of Kings. Yeah, unless you buy on Fenter, then you get subbed off anyway. But currently, another kick towards the touchline for the South Africans. Although Brian Fenter's still out there after 30 minutes. It's almost a record for that man. We have got there, where is this playing? It is at the Aviva in Ireland. I'm guessing we'll see Aldegas Neyman in the second half with Etzebeth. Says Oasco. Possibly. I don't know. Maybe they look at taking Etzebeth off in the second half and going Aldegas Neyman and Rua Nokia. It's a combination that has worked throughout the year. Yo, shut up, says Yvonne. Okay. Not the same, is it? If I just stay silent for the whole stream, we have got there. Damn, I've seen some fake Springbok fans. Says King of Kings. Now a scrum 5 metres out from the line. This is penalty try country here. If they can get this one moving forward. Why are we on attack but no play, says Original Venom. And I am Sasa is all right. Says Kip. Yeah, all he needs is one big moment. One big play, one big step, or a pass, and he'll be on song. We have good there, hi there. Do you like lettuce as payment for your commentary for rabbit teeth, says Anthony. That's the second teeth joke of the day. You're doing well. Although you weren't quite first, unfortunately. But no, I'm not a big fan of lettuce. My cousin is, but he doesn't have the same messed up teeth that I have. But he used to eat like a whole head of lettuce by himself. Just for fun. He's now a prop. So he probably ignores Oxenshare in terms of his message of salads don't win scrums. As, you know, he would down a bit of lettuce like it was nothing. Like it was an apple, just by the bloody ball. He straight into it. We have got there, this is Sasha's Try Country. Says Original Venom. And how sad is it watching someone watching the game? Says One Fish Brain. But now another advantage. Going the way of the Springboks across. Oh, Kanan Moody took the pass of Dealende. And it is a knock on there. It's a bit of a mistake there, unfortunately. We have got there, Yvonne showing some serious maturity there. We have got that high from Nairobi in Kenya and go the Bok. And also the audacity to call people fake fans, says Francois there. Marnie would be my starting 10. And also your team are not messed up, which they are a little bit though, aren't they? Like they're not exactly the norm, but I don't mind them. Oh, that's an ugly collision there. Oh, so they're trying to say that maybe O'Brien's gone high here. Hello from South Africa, says Kanya. And there. And we have got there, people forget Sasha is only 15 years old. Right, they're checking this one. Another TMO getting involved. We could see another Irishman going to the bin. Good commentary, and you're very funny, says Anthony there after insulting me. We have got there. How good did New Zealand play today? They had some good moments. They're out there going. I think that they conceded a lot more points than they would have liked to. I guess Neyman playing his 50th. Yeah, and he is coming off the bench in this game rather than starting. That's a huge collision, though. Oh. See, I don't know if O'Brien gets any. Are they saying that maybe O'Brien's the one who's been cleaned out here by Kane and Moody, rather than the other way around? I was initially looking, oh no, there's a little bit of shoulder on the head of Kane and Moody there. Hey, these guys, this is rugby, not American football, says Jean. This doesn't look good. South Africa making mistakes and can't score against maybe 14 men, maybe 13 here. If O'Brien is not careful, FDMO, man, they ruined their bloody game. And you're my favourite Kiwi. Oh, we have got their other box need a red card to play to their best level of rugby, says Toomey. Okay, they're between penalty and yellow card at the moment. We have got our hello, Kiwi sir. Don't worry about haters. However, it's teeth, not teeth, says on the right. Okay, so don't worry about the haters, and then write a hating comment as well. But no, it is because of my, I think it's from trying to say so many South Africans' names. Like, I can no longer say Ruth, like, as in R-O-O-F. That was me trying to say it. But because of saying the South African names, I've actually butchered my own New Zealand vocabulary, unfortunately. But it just comes with the job. So many comments, don't know how you do it, says Paul. There's too many coming through at the moment, that is for sure. Which is my second favourite Kiwi, but that is going to be just the penalty going against the Irish number 14, who also has a little bit of cotton up his nose at the moment, trying to avoid any sort of bleeding. Great call, ref, says Sook. And there too, appreciate your brother. Thanks for your all your events. Obviously, it's past your bedtime. You're currently at a sitting 7:27 a.m. at the moment. Lucky, says Sandor. Straight red, says Xander, for that one. But now, it's going to be another scrum feed. South Africa opting for the scrum here too. The guy needs an HIA. That hit and the whiplash looked nasty. Yeah, it didn't look good at all for Tommy O'Brien. And I have no idea how he's still out there. Like, he looks like he's already feeling it a little bit. Okay, they've had a late call. Now they're taking Tommy O'Brien off of the field. Another wrong with his teeth. Geez, well, the F, grow up, man. And also we've got there, we do Ash's live stream. I wanted to do the first test match for the final day, but it never got to a final day. Only the 2 days being played. Get job as always, Amish. Thanks, buddy. Says Mitch. And we have got there that shoulder to hit again. Right, Jack Crowley making his way on. Boy, that's a loud crowd at the Aviva. For him making his way on to the park, the Munster boy. Coming on for Tommy O'Brien. I appreciate your great commentary, says Blake. No worries at all. And yeah, be sure to, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 77,000. And the chair for Jack Crowley says, hey, no Sports Hub. Who's the South African captain tonight? It is Seal Kolisi in that number 6 jersey for the Springboks. We're already 32 minutes through in this one. These Irish have weird shapes. Weird shapes. Should have been a penalty the other way. The South African elbowed him in the head, says Scott, and take 3 Irish off by default. And now the Irish scrum is going to be under all sorts of pressure yet again. Popping up there, Dan G, and all front rows both standing up as the call. Ty Furlong thought that his side had won it. He disagrees with the ref. Love your work, bro, says Clint D. I'm loving the ref's body cam footage. Really gives one a sense of the scrum drama. And what is the score now? It's still 5-0 in favour of the South Africans. And honestly, it could still be extended before halftime. The way that it currently sits, they're in that position, or that position on the field. Possession last 10 minutes, 75% in favour of the South African. Slow scoring game, although I think it was always going to be when these two sides play off. It was never going to be a 50-point thriller. It was always going to be a hard, grindy test match. But I'll be honest, I thought South Africa would have scored before now for their second try of the contest. The position on the field has been brilliant. The penalties, they've won about 5 or 6 on the trot, it feels like. So they really have to get it going very soon. But it's another Big scrum and going down in the front row. Another penalty advantage. The South Africans, they will take that all the way to the bank throughout the 80 minutes. Now, advantage played. Ball available again for Kobus Reinach. Goes across to Jasper Visser. It's whether or not the Irish can hold on before they get themselves another yellow for the ill discipline at scrum time. Now, Reinach. 6 off the feet, Ryan Beard. This might be a yellow card for him rather than the props. Now Reinach uses quickly, goes himself, cuts through. I think they're asking for obstruction there, the Irish, but I don't think they're going to get it. And Reinach does go and score himself the try. There's a bit of push and shove again after that one. These two sides do not like each other. And like they've said, it's getting worse for Ireland because they are having someone go to the bin now. And that is going to be Sam Prendergast, who gets himself sent off the field. And we have there the mock try. And also another one bites the dust. And that's how it is, Ireland being dominated physically. Says Francois. And very nice Reinach. And also Reinach says Robbie. That one has gone over from Sasha Feinberg. Zulu adds his first points of the day and makes the score after 34 minutes, 12-0 for the South Africans. So in a good position at the moment. If they can get one more before the end of the half, they could be in a position where they cannot go on to lose. Although that game between Scotland and Argentina, it proved to us last week that anything can happen throughout a second 40 minutes of rugby. Looks like Ireland. Says LB, we're not going to read that one because you've been complaining about them all day. We have got the coaches also don't enjoy each other, says Jason. And a bad referee, says Patrick, and also Ireland dominance is over, says Jeff. And how many Irish left on the field? Currently playing with 13 men at this point in time. And Ireland are shell-shocked. Says Aino's there. And what has the ref gotten wrong? Says Francois, we are screwed. Says Patrick there too. This one's going to be kicked off by Crowley. I know a lot of people wanted to see him as the 10, but they didn't want to see him as the 10 because of the other 10 getting yellow carded in this case. As if sport is greedy and we'll let tennis, cricket, soccer and rugby. Says Lera there. Now Reinach. Chance again to kick this one up high. Currently 40 or so minutes out from the Springbok line. Nice take from Kane and Moody under the high ball momentum. Firmly in favour of the away side. Reinach going across to Sasha Feinberg and Zulu. Passed on one more from Dialende. Finds Krill, his centre pairing partner. Oh, ball's loose. It knocked on by Cheslin Colby. Ball on the side of the Irish. Ireland might have to wave the green flag and call it a day, and they will go back for the penalty against the Bok. Did Rassi go to Dublin University? I have no idea where that man went to school. And so now diving in, no arm wrap. And he got it. It's not a straight red rod or joke, says WLK. I think that a lot of people probably should just be thankful that it was given as a red in the scenario. Like, you know, it could have been worse. They could have gone yellow, remained as a yellow. Like, I would take the red card and say, yep, I'm happy enough. Could have been worse. He's still going to get suspended. But surely you still take a 20-minute red card over 10 minutes, don't you? However, there it's pronounced Lera 2. Sorry, it didn't have the split as to where it ended. So I did go with Lera just like as in like Leah. So my apologies there. We have got their Box should run away with the game in the second half. And we have got there, could this be a matter of stage fright for the Irish? Well, to be fair, they did get better as the match wore on up against the Australians as well. Now, taken by the Irish. That was Ryan Beard who got his hand up, and it's an advantage against South Africa. Now, big run from Josh van der Fleer, 5 metres out from the line for Ireland with 13 men on the field. Can they find their way through? Another advantage. Skip pass, and Dan Sheehan scores to get the Irish back in the game with 13. And oh no, says Ramos there. That is exactly what Ireland needed right at this period of time before the second or before the first half is over. And it is Sheehan who scores it in the 36th in this match. And damn, says Brett there. Too easy to celebrate Scotland. Says Demi there. And how they score with 13. Says 1 there. And Ireland score, says cited in there as well. And points before half-time with 13 men mighty. And that will be a massive confidence booster for the Irish here too. And getting over, Jasper Visser making the low tackle. But Dan Sheehan too close to the try line. And fantastic try, Ireland. Come on, boys. Now we have the Ireland are the best, says Carl Devlin. And well done, Ireland. That's something in boxing, green and shock in South Africa defence. Now ready to line this one up. Prendergast, he currently sits 0 from 1, and he too adds the additional 2, just like we saw from Sasha. And this is pathetic from South Africa. How do you allow this? Nice try, Ireland, but it's the last. Says Rudy there too. Yeah, sneaking through there, the Irish. It's good, says Big Rig. 7 points to 12. See how much it means to this crowd as well with just the 2 minutes left. One moment, I'm about to sneeze, so I'll very quickly mute. We are good. And quick try before the halftime block. That is pretty pathetic to concede against 13. Says Big Rig. And now back across. Nicely taken. Dan Sheehan sitting about 10 metres out from his own try line, I believe, not too far away from the yellow card, the red card finishing. Bless you. Says Peter there as well. His own business. That one's going to be kicked in a touch. So again, an attacking opportunity for the South Africans before the halftime. You still have Aviva Hamish, says John. And bring on players that can defend against 13, please. Rassi, says Sandor. And South Africa won with 14, so. And we all need a toilet break. Yeah, there will be the halftime break very shortly. It's been a nervous first half for both of these sides. A little bit less free-flowing than I think they would have both liked. We've seen that red card and also the yellow card for the Irish at this stage. And it's a knock-on from Reinach. But in fact, it's called as a knock-on against the Irish first. And great game so far. Ireland showing some mettle. Says Home, and well done, guys. Bok, says Musa there. And too much TMO, says Big Rig. And score with 13. I've been there, done that. The T-shirt's the show. Next argument, please. Says so incredible. So James Ryan, he's got 12 minutes until a replacement for him can make his way onto the field. Where's Mostert? Is he suspended? No, the red card was rescinded, which means that Mostert was eligible to play for this game. But with the fact that it's Ardegas Neyman's 50th, they were probably never going to play him in this match anyway. Hand on the ground from Crowley. He's played at the 9, which is actually what forced... Oh, wow, it's another yellow card for the Irish. That is against Jack Crowley, and they are down to 12 for the Irish. Although they will be back to 13 now, but it's still down by 2 men. I don't know what the Irish are doing at the moment. We have got there. Another one bites the dust now. 12, let's go. Play till 9. But now kicking this one into touch. This has to be a massive try-scoring opportunity again for the Springboks before halftime. Irish not going to lie down in this one. We have a fun live watch-along coming from an Island pub. Says Great Mate Sports. Imagine the reaction. The box got 3 cards, says Big Rig. And now line out. Best from the north playing best of the south. I see who wins, says World Champs Rice. He pulled a Cody Taylor, says Johnny Blaze. That one's going to be thrown in. Nicely taken by Ruan Nokia. And again, the rolling maul sets up here for the Springboks. I think he was he through the side there, James Ryan? If he wasn't, he is eligible to the ball. He was not, though. So it is going to be another penalty advantage against the Irish. They've shut this one down. The ball's not coming out. Another penalty. Could be another card. We could see them 12 on 15 again here. And what's happening in this match seems to be falling apart, says the Roman. And the box always gets cards. I reckon Big Rig has a tiny motor, says Sandor. I love the box. I hate all the cards in rugby nowadays, says Lee. You're already in this game. We have seen a total of 3 cards in this contest, is it? I believe so. The Irish decided to retire, take the loss without serious injuries. And I'm at the pub in London, and because we don't have Sky Sports to watch the game, we are watching your live stream. Oh, well, welcome into the pub in London. Oh, hang on, what's going on now? Ireland, changes being made by South Africa. It will be Wilco Low and Gerhard Stennekamp making their way onto the field for Thomas Tatoy and Boan Finta. Currently round that halfway. Mark Rassi will be happy enough with what has happened in the first half, but he would have probably liked one more try, which is still a possibility. I've just mentioned there 144 kgs Wilco Low weighs. Changes just before half-time. It's so many cards these days, says Stephen. And this ref loves a card like Twix in 2023. There's another big scrumming opportunity here for the Springboks. They will look to push this one and perhaps even get another advantage in their favour, which could lead to a yellow card. Thanks to the commentary, says Neil. And incredible ill-discipline, stupid Irish, says Driss there. But now it's a big push. Elbow goes down, another advantage. Going the way of the Boks. Jasper Vesa breaking off the back. And I made a comment earlier on in this live stream, which I said slightly as a joke, but it's actually been true as well. Big cross kick from Sasha goes into touch. They'll go back for another penalty. I said that South Africa enjoy playing their games with about 80% of their game. Another yellow card. Irish down to 12. That's 4 scrums in a row. Now I would assume that South Africa are going to go for a scrum again. Andrew Porter has been sent off the field. That's a Warren Ireland getting smashed up front. Yeah, down to 12 again here for Ireland. Our Boks will stretch the score after half-time, says Gerhard, as they should, and they've called for the scrum again, the Springboks. They know exactly what they're doing. The crowd are booing them, but it's the best tactic because Ireland can't hold them up. McCarthy, he will make his way onto the field. We have to get there finally. Tita gets it. I love this ref, says JP. Now watch the Boks lose, says Sand. If they somehow lost from here, I don't even know what would have gone wrong. Because Ireland, at this point in time, don't look like they have an answer. This isn't rugby, this is foul, says Owen. What's happening with the cards? They are handing them out like confectionery at the moment. And pathetic to be on 12 players. The Boks feed off the booze, says Artie there. Worst game I've watched, so sad. But now ready to feed it in again. Kobus Reinach. Ready to go in, and again, the Boks will look to use that scrum. And again, it is another penalty advantage in favour of the Springboks. This half is going to go for 55 minutes because Reinach knocks it on at the back. They get the penalty try too there. Does that mean there's going to be another try? Or another... Okay, he's just calling it half-time, Matthew Carley. He didn't want to give another yellow card. He's going, I'm not that harsh. But that is going to be half-time in this contest. 19 points to 7. You can see how much he just wanted that one to end, as it was just going to be repeat. Scrum penalty, and then mistake. Scrum penalty, mistake. Not good if South Africa can't score. Very disappointed. I mean, they got themselves the penalty try, though. In that scenario, Matthew Carley is being booed off the field, but Ireland have not looked competitive throughout that last 20 minutes of the contest. They've had 14 men. They've had 13 men. They're currently playing with 12 men out there on the field. The penalty try at halftime, making it 19 points to 7. We have got there, Bundy walked up and said, bad. The ref said no. And also we have got there, I want to see you in the car park after this, says Patrick, you're going on a date. We have got there, Carly saved a few cards for Christmas. And Boks are smashing them. What are you talking about them being useless? Says Francois. I assume that was to someone in the chat as we just finished praising them. We have got their trash box. This is what whining and crying gets you, sickening. Says I wash a dryer. And also we have got there, those are grown, where'd that go? These are grown men. Where'd that go? It actually disappeared. Oh, stop the cards. They are not sissies, says Freddie. And also we have got there, that's how the Boks broke Ireland. And also, whereas Faf de Klerk, he is not playing in this game. They have got Grant Williams to make his way off the bench later on. This is what pressure can do. Just on the receiving end of our long justice, says Stephen. The ref is taking the Boks side. They did already pay him. And agree, can we play some rugby? No card, says Pitbull. I think we're going to see more of the same in the second half, if I'm being honest. I don't think we're going to see it become a free-flowing game unless, the thing is, the scrums are just penalty magnets at the moment, and it's exactly what the Springboks will go to anytime they get themselves a penalty, because it's the perfect game plan. Get yourself the penalty advantage, then you can throw an attack on, and if you don't gain 30 metres, you go back for that penalty, you rinse and repeat. For the Irish, they, at the moment, have to try and survive 10 minutes, because if they don't, they're pretty much out of this game, and even if they do survive the 10 minutes, there are still going to be more scrums. There's probably still going to be another yellow card. So at this stage, you just don't really know what they can do. What a joke of a cheating Irish team. And also here, the yellow fever, says John there. Where's Rugby League streaming right now? Rugby League. As in like the like as in like the NRL and whatnot. And Ireland playing with grudge and anger instead of mixing their set pieces and playing the ball behind the advantage line. Says Joseph. And we have got there, show me the money. Says Tame there. And yeah, I do think as soon as we see Marty Libok make his way out onto the field, this game is going to well and truly open up as well. And as I have great commentary as usual, listening from Durban in South Africa. And I'm South African, and these cards are killing the game. Keep 15 on 15, says the breakdown. Yeah, it's one of those ones, I mentioned about it before the game, how sometimes when you have two great sides go head-to-head, it just, this was a match of the year candidate, and it's been anything but that. But it's been a very strong performance from the Springboks. We haven't really seen the Irish be able to get going, other than in the earlier stages of the contest. They they had that try burn, but had it disallowed because of James Ryan making a stupid decision. They then got him the first card of the game, and from there it's just been rinse and repeat. How can you play the champions with 12 players? Says John Mills, you can't. That's pretty much the bottom line. And check out our live watch along from an Irish bar. Says Great Sports. Oh, see, I didn't realise you were doing a watch along. I thought you were saying like that you were checking out my watch along, but no, you were just doing a free plug in that regard. And ref needs to stop now. Takes away the glory. Let the captains decide if they want 7 points on the player off the field. I think that's why in the end he decided to call that as a penalty try in half-time. Mainly because he didn't want to have to give another card, which was where it was going, because the Springboks knew what they wanted to do. They wanted to keep on going for those scrums up until pretty much Matthew Carley had no choice but to give another one. But yeah, it's going to be intriguing to see what happens in the later stages of this contest, because I don't know how many players we're going to see remaining at this point in time. I was expecting cards, but not for Ireland. James Ryan playing himself out of the Irish jersey. And can't complain about yellows at scrum time. The scrum is part of the game in rugby. Can't scrum, can't play rugby. Says Jean there. And also we've got their no self-promotion ban hammer that loses, says Sandor. And we have got their commentary is brilliant, says Nick. Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. And second half is just around the corner. And we have got their 58 minutes that first half. Yeah, it was a bit of a long one, to be fair. Like that New Zealand versus Wales first half was about 45 minutes, just in comparison. This one a lot longer. But second half is not too far away. We are going to be covering it on the channel as well as that match later on between Australia and also France. And we have got there, let's not forget South Africa aren't allowed. Get cards now overall. The boohoo and crying, says Flipper. I love all the stuff, says Jason. And we have got there 15 versus 15. And is it the game, says Nuran? I don't see a way for Ireland to get back into this game. They received 4 cards throughout this first half, 3 of which are currently off the field at the same time. So, 15 on 12 up against the defending world champions, who throughout this year have scored more tries than anyone else. Not happening. Unless they can survive this next 10 minutes and somehow avoid all signs of scrums, I just don't see any way for them to come back into this. And I don't think anyone was predicting to see so many cards in the early stages of this contest, or not just for one team anyway. Our Boks are going to score more than 50, says Nick, as they probably should. The ref handed this game to South Africa, says Daniel. And I'll be honest, Ireland's discipline has been woeful. They are used to getting away with those calls when playing for Leinster, says Saku. Do you put it down to ill discipline from the Irish, says Philip Bailey. I think they're just, tactics-wise, they've got it completely wrong in this contest, because, it doesn't take a rocket scientist that as soon as the scrum was struggling for Ireland, that South Africa would go to that scrum as much as physically possible. There are probably about 3 or 4 times that another side would kick for the corner, that South Africa said, no, we will scrummage, and it forced the Porter yellow card. We're probably going to see another one in the second half as well. Too many cards, says Lyle. And why was that a penalty try, not a reset or a card? 10 yards out, the ref is moving the goalposts for his goals. I think he just got sick of giving cards in that first half, to be honest. We were 43 minutes through the half, and he had just given a player for a yellow card. And I think Matthew Carley, he just knew if he had continued resetting that scrum, eventually he was going to have to give another one. So he just pretty much said, look, you've had your advantage. Just take the 7 points and get off. Separate the men from the boys. Do you see Moody's hit? Says default there. And ref with a Bok jersey in the second half, hopefully, says washer dryer. And we have got there, break this one-trick pony, says Salah, and also box own set piece, says Sander. And Ireland have very bad discipline, not the ref's fault. South Africa's just too strong, forcing the Euros, says Andre. But what we will do is we will look through at the benches for this contest, because we've got to remember, it's been a hectic start. We've seen Prendergast make his way onto the field for the red carded James Ryan. We've seen Crowley make his way onto the field and then get yellow carded. That was for the HIA of Tommy O'Brien. He is yet to return in this fixture. And then for South Africa, they have still got a bench and a half, the 6-2 split. And we've already seen Gerhard Stennekamp alongside Wilco Lowe. They have both made their way onto the field for the South Africans, but there's still plenty to go. 40 minutes is a long time. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting half of rugby. I think straight away, off the bat, it's going to sound bad to say, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but this is probably not going to be an entertaining half of rugby. Just, in terms of the spectacle, it's going to be ugly, it's going to be grindy, and it should involve a few tries for the South Africans, but it's definitely not going to be a great watch in terms of a contest. It's going to be great if you go for South Africa, don't get me wrong. They will be absolutely loving this. But as a neutral, it's going to be a bit of one that I think a lot of people will just go, nah, not for me. But that's nothing against South Africa in this game. They have only done what is in front of them. And I do think that we're going to see in the second half, with a couple changes, starting to see more of that attack going for the Box. That is true, lads. Says nearly there. Money time, can't touch this. How many minutes in total? Ireland down to 12. So they will be down to 12 probably for another, I'd say, 4 or 5 minutes. As those those yellow cards actually came in very quick succession. South Africa aren't dirty or cheaters. They are playing to their strengths. As an All Blacks supporter, it's something we do all the time. Did Dr. Rassi plan this? Probably not. I don't think that Rassi would have planned to get the opposition down to 12. He definitely would have planned for a yellow card at scrum time, though. That would have been in the cards, but he wouldn't have planned that James Ryan was going to go in off his feet and get himself a red card. He wouldn't have planned that Prendergast was going to rush up offside and get himself yellow carded, but it will be a good grind. Says Bevan, yeah, you can't blame the Box for Ireland's awful discipline. And also we have got there, what was the Portugal-Canada score? 1 second. Have a quick look. Portugal-Canada. Portugal beat the Canadians 33 points to 27. Fiji managed to pull off the win over the Spanish in the end, 41-33, so they had to work pretty hard. I'm a South African here. I'm not loving this, says Clint D. And we have got there, South Africa hasn't done anything wrong, says Ramos. I think South Africa will be, not so much for the penalty side of things, I think they'll be disappointed that they weren't able to finish more throughout that first half. We saw a couple cross kicks attempted. They didn't quite go to hand, and they've been very close to getting that big breakthrough try off a set piece, but it just hasn't quite worked out. But then you can play with that freedom of taking a risk when you are under penalty advantage. You can go for a cross kick, a chip in behind, a grubber. What are the full-time score of the other matches, says Joe. So at the moment, like I mentioned, Fiji able to get themselves the win over Spain, 41-33. Portugal beat Canada 33-27. New Zealand beating Wales 52 points to 26. I just realised that was a bit of a spoiler, but then I realised that most people thought that New Zealand would win anyway. Uruguay beating Romania 31-21. And Japan getting the win 25 points to 23. And as a South African, this is probably the worst match. We are with a big build-up. It happens. Like I mentioned, heavyweight fights in the UFC. It happens all the time. Two sides that are rivals that go out there, they talk a brilliant game in the press conferences, everyone's hyped up to the nines, and then from there, it just doesn't happen. Irish cards were 100% deserved. Can't complain. South Africa beast playing at pace also, says Coleman there. Thought Ireland would be a challenge, says Default. I'm South African and not enjoying this match fair, says Mike in there as well. And Dan Rassi putting Wilco and Stone Stenkamp on before halftime, master. And also we have got there your big UFC fan. I used to be, not so much now. Like, I'll still watch the occasional card, but I feel like it has got a little bit worse in recent times just because of so many fights that haven't turned into the ones that people wanted to see. Do you think Sasha should have got a yellow? I've seen them given as yellows before. And who knows how different the game could have been had that been a yellow at the start of the contest. Oh, we have got there, do you think Sasha should have been a yellow? Oh no, I read that one just then and you put it in again. Oh, we have got there, as a Bok fan, the referees is way too involved, says Dominico. And I can't believe how dirty these Irish are, says WLK. And Sasha was a yellow card. And we have got, the ref is fair, to be honest. Even though I'm not enjoying this game, would have preferred 15 on 15, says Donna. Also, whoever it was who asked for the previous scores, you've got me in the dog books, or the dog box, because my parents are both looking at me from the side very angrily at the fact that I told them the score of that match when they were just about to watch it. So cheers for that. We have got there, stop it, Sasha, never a yellow, says Rivellino. Like I mentioned, we've seen them given as yellows before, we've seen them given as not yellows. Sasha, it wasn't his best moment. Overall, like, we saw him in the scenario of getting it wrong. That's a cricket bat, ladies and gentlemen. I'll get that later. We have got their box pressure makes everyone fold. Says home business. And too many Irish players with a chip on their shoulders throwing their weight around when they should concentrate on winning the game. And we have got their go the box sister. And also, do you think the box will come on early? Probably not. I think that they'll leave him off for a little bit longer. And we have got their Sasha's kicking deserves the yellow. Says Amek. Yeah, we are not too far away from the second half getting underway. Look, Hamish, if you bark, I'll donate. You probably won't, though, because like I've smashed an egg on my head because someone said they'd donate to me, and then all I had was egg all over me and no donation. We'll be honest, there is biased, and where'd that go? There is bias in our analysis, says Sanili, and there as well. We have got their Springboks will never lose. And also, when you fight someone stronger than you, dirty tactics are the only options. Interesting. Well, they're playing with about 11 in that case. 11 or 10. Because of the yellow cards. That's true. I got a note from from my dad about what maybe Ireland could do at scrum time. We have there apparently this ref likes to hand out yellow cards to Ireland, one commentator just said. Says cited. The Irish are booing the ref. Says LB. And I think they would have also been booing their side a little bit. One moment, I am about to sneeze, so I will quickly mute. We are good. Your dad, the scrum analysis, says Xander. Yeah, he's giving me an interesting note. And it's probably not a bad tactic, to be fair. Probably not the most popular one, but neither is getting 15 yellow cards for the scrum. We've got there solid Hamish. Says McCall, and keep them slices of cheese coming for Ireland. And Box once bottled 22 points versus Australia. Another wrong with the ref, says Ryan Plumtree. And we can't blame the ref because what is he supposed to do? Let Ireland keep infringing, says Amek. And also we have got there nice to have a ref that's fair for a change, says Kim. And bless you again. And big up the boys in there. But yeah, second half hopefully getting underway in the very near future. And hopefully will be a little bit more of a spectacle. Like, that's the thing. Once again, like I mentioned, this is a brilliant performance from South Africa when it comes to being able to dominate the game. I don't think many neutrals will be leaving this game hoping to watch more, though. I thought you lost your head for a moment. No, I was just leaning off to the side. Poor world champions. I got to start a petition. Let rugby players tackle each other again, says Through the Iris. And also, you just know the floodgates are going to open now. Ricardo Hamish says Pitbull. And also, we have the Irish fans not too happy. And this like state of origin. There has been fair go. Go read the damn laws, says Cameron. Oh, second half was 50 seconds in. They were showing ads here in New Zealand. That's probably summed up this game as well. But now kick downfield from Jameson gives it back. That's an absolute shocker from Sky that the half was underway and no one had the coverage. Oh, big fly kick attempted there from Kane and Moody. It did end up hitting Jameson Gibson Parks to the line out here for the Springboks. Currently with the 3-man advantage in the second half. Who was the try? The penalty try? So the penalty try was just for the Springboks in general. And with the second half kicking off, about a minute ago, Sky just was showing ads trying to get that extra couple dollars in from McDonald's. Now Malcolm Marks throwing this one into the back. Ryan Nokia taking a nicely not straight throw from South Africa, and the crowd, a massive jeer. They have the option of the scrum or a line out. At what point do you surrender? 5 cards. Can't believe that they have 12 players, says one. Crazy first half between these two sides. I read that one. You're so cute, Hamish, says Deborah. Thank you very much, Deborah. And F off Sky, says Original Venom. And these refs hate rugby, says Rikwa Man. And other footage was fine on Sky. for Sky on satellite, says Albie. So obviously Sky Sport now decided they wanted to chuck in the extra ad, trying to get people to get those Uber Eats orders in. Oh no, they do it for the line out. It makes sense because they don't have many scrums left, or scrummaging props left at this stage. Another advantage, this time going the way of the Irish. Gibson Park kicking it up high. Looks like Tyke Byrne going to be the man going up for this ball. Nicely claimed by Moody under the high ball. And they'll go back for the penalty. We have got the your lagger, mate, says Grip. It does happen sometimes. And we have got the Hamish, don't know if you remember, over that game where the Box won 35-7 versus the All Blacks. Matthew Carley also gave a lot of yellow cards. He gave 3 yellow cards, and Scott Barrett got a second yellow. Says hey no. And also we have got the good morning. What did you think of the AB's game? It was all right. You know, it could have been better, could have been worse. Sam Prendergast back on the field, so Ireland now playing with 13 men on the field. What a waste of time, Hamish. This is not rugby. Says John Mills. But Ireland opting to go for the time waster here. Trying to use up a little bit more time to get Crowley back out on the park. Nowhere in the world. That is a fair game, thanks to Mo and bloody ref, says Jenna. And we have got there, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. Ireland not coping with the pressure. Says outdoors and ocean. Now, ready to line this one up. Sam Prendergast, time wasting when you're 12 points down. Interesting strategy. Well, it's more so time wasting when you're 2 men down that they are working on here. They've added the additional 3, down by the 9 points at the moment. And they've just said the yellow card kid for Sam Prendergast. There's a few of those yellow card kids in this Irish team for today. Now they're just talking about whether or not Ireland get another man. I think they've got to wait just that little bit longer here before their next man returns. The Box are bad. Should be a try. Minute right now says use a bit of big knock on coming from the Irish, then knocked on from South Africa. So guess what? The worst scenario here for Ireland is about to take place. We're going to see another scrum. The game is unbelievable, says Gerson. The half was 63 minutes long with all the stoppages. Blimey, says the smirking. I've never seen a team with only 12 players, says one there. And did you have a Milky Way kid? I think so. It's probably a little bit before my time, though. And beautiful from South Africa, says Ramos. In there too, and 2 knock-ons. Oof. So yeah, no matter what, we were going to a scrum in favour of either of these sides. Now, I will mention that currently this Irish scrum has got 8 men, although it hasn't made a massive difference throughout what they've been able to do in this contest. Come on, South Africa. Now, now the scrum reset, using up a little bit more time off the clock. Morning mistake, just woke up. No red cards for the Box lock so far. No red cards, only a red card for the Irish lock in this match of James Ryan. Reverse incoming, says Peter. I will be mad if the Box fail to score with 13 on the field. Says so. Milky Way kid would be in New Zealand now, says Studs Rugby. And maybe the Box are not trying to score the Irish, or scare the Irish off, says Original Venom. And this rugby representation sucks. It's probably one of the biggest, like in terms of these November internationals, probably the most watched, I would think, around the world, or at least it's got to be close to it. And yeah, we're yet to see that momentum really start to go. Here comes Sasha with the fend, breaks the line and scores the try. Sasha Feinberg, Ngome Zulu. We mentioned how it was never too far away for Feinberg and Ngome Zulu to score. And they cut through the 13-man Irish and get themselves the try now. 1 second, we'll go like that, and we go like that. 46 minutes in, going off to the right-hand side. Gaps in the Irish defence, and the big fend-off of Jamison Gibson Park. A brilliant SFM. And Sasha, boom. And well done, Sasha, says Colleen there. I think Rassi told his team not to have a penalty, otherwise player will be benched. Says Jenna. And Sasha FM. Says Francois there. But now the Box leading by the 14 points. That scrum was 8 versus 8. It was indeed. And all you guys who were complaining in the first half are now silent. Says Alistair. I mean, we've certainly heard a lot of complaining all throughout this contest. Probably the most out of any live stream we have done I want to say ever, or it's got to be close to it, from start to finish anyway. We got the F, yeah, says Mark. And also, can they replace the cards with points? Keep the player, but give them points to the opposition team? I don't think so. I don't think that's something that they'd ever get into. Rubbish attempted a kick. Yeah, that one is missed away to the side for Sasha. Oh no, in fact, it's Kane and Moody, my apologies. Oh no, sorry. They were showing Kane and Moody, but Sasha did have that kick and missed it. Oh, big shot on Ruan Nokia. That looked a little high from Ireland as well. They may have just decided that they're going to lose this game, so they might as well just cause some problems. Ireland fans, I think today is not your day. Says Rice. Now, Kobus Ronak. Kicking this one high. It's going to stay in the field of play. Mac Hansen unable to get onto a fly kick from Eben Etzebeth. And it will be the penalty to South Africa again. Now, what's the 2 yellow card times? I believe one of them will just about be returning out onto the field. Ireland have trouble tonight, says Francois. And Sasha says Wedding. Right, Arge Snyman in his 50th test match. He's about to make his way onto the field as well. Sasha kicks that one into touch. Oh, we still have the Viking. Has to come on. I forgot about that. They've got the Viking. They've got Klaka. They've got Andre Estes. And they've got that Grant Williams-Marnie Libok duo. Second half is when the game starts for South Africa, says Mark. Right, Jack Crowley is back out there on the field. Andrew Porter, I believe, would have also served his 10 minutes. So you would assume that they will make a little shuffle there. So I think Ireland are almost back to 15. They might still be 14, though, just for now. Now thrown in over the top, nicely claimed by Peter Steftatoy. Ronak goes across to Sasha. Now Jesse Creel, big collision with Bundyaki and also Crowley. And like I said, a cardboard determined. The game sometimes, says Jenna. Now backline movement. Better Steftatoy looks for the offload. That was, I think, forward to Malcolm Marks as well. So if they do manage to score this, the box, this one may be ruled out from the TMO. But the ball stolen in the breakdown from McCarthy. And that number 7 jersey, Paddy McCarthy, choosing the perfect time to be able to take that ball back. The Irish only a couple metres out from the line with Furlong hitting it up. And still 14, we need 16 or 17. Ireland could win this, only down 14 after that. Says User. Oh, that one's gone high from Gizambaki. He is not happy with that kick, although it almost stayed in the field of play. But yeah, I believe Ireland are now back to their 15 on the field. The biggest thing will be trying to avoid that next card, which could be only a matter of time. Go Ireland, says Jenna. And the box too good, says Patrick. But Arias Neyman for his 50th test cap. He has scored 3 tries throughout those matches. He is not really known as a try scorer, but he's known as being able to get those offloads, creating opportunities for the box on attack. And this ain't rugby, it's restrict B, says Rikwa Man. And the big man says Sam Wilson, and there as well. Now line out throw for Malcolm Marks, 20 metres out from the line. Tyke Boom went up for it, unable to claim it. Could have almost turned into a penalty advantage, and now it does again up against Ireland. Trying to get this ball out, it's going to be held in there. Matthew Carley says no yellow card, but I assume that the box will go either corner or scrum here. If you get a second yellow, does that become a red? It does indeed. So they've got a few guys out there on the field at the moment that could lead to a red card if they were to get themselves another yellow. Hello, Ngome Zulu, love your commentary. Says Alian there. And also, I'm from America, and we don't have a good rugby team, so I root for Ireland. What the hell is going on? Says Callan. Now ready to throw this ball in. And attack, take the corner, says Ruby Tuesday. Now thrown in again. Ireland thought about going up for it. Oh, floating out the back. Jasper Vesa, just the 5 metres short. I think Ireland have actually turned this into a rolling maul. That is brilliantly done. I think the ball's popped onto the side of the Irish here. It's actually Caelan Doris who has ended up with possession. So it's a bit of a weird one because the ball, okay, it's going to be the Irish scrum. I was about to say, because of it being in Caelan Doris' hands, it may have actually meant that it would be a South African scrum feed, but no, the Irish, they have got the scrum just a couple metres out from their line. Your first mistake as an American was rooting for Ireland. Says WPP, where's Jesse tonight? Jesse Creel has been playing 13. He's had a couple decent runs, although they haven't really got it out the back line a huge amount. South Africa, they have been deciding to go for mainly Damien Dialendi, and then they'll kick it out wide or go with a skip pass past Jesse Creel. And South Africa should win by 20 points. If they play smart, they could still lose. Says Baps. And penalty incoming, says Peter. And there as well, but this is an important scrum for the Irish. 52 minutes through this contest, still 24 points to 10 on the board. Ireland, they have to be the next team to score in this game or they are out of contention in this match. And come on the block, we must win. And this is a tough game, but it's coming. South Africa, come on. Big push there from South Africa at scrum time. Kick downfield from Jamison Gibson Park. That's a phenomenal kick under the pressure that he was. Able to get about 40 metres downfield with the boot from Gibson Park. Has this ref set some sort of record for cards? I should have been given a red to South Africa at the start of the match as well. I don't think it will be a record. There's certainly been a few though, and there's probably still time for one or two more. And we have got the Islanders be subject to the same rules. Get yourself some cards, and Jamison Gibson Park, that's brilliant kick, says Studs Rugby. Yeah, it's often underestimated how difficult it can be as a halfback when you're under pressure trying to get metres alongside just not being charged down. But we don't see Kwagga Smith. He's made his way onto the field. That's a not straight throw from South Africa. And Ireland now have got themselves a scrum around the halfway line. Scrum all line out. This is a weird momentum shift at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. It's as if Ireland, through everything that they have faced in this game, now they're starting to get a little bit more fired up. Mark's having a shock, and Mark's needs to fix this. Yeah, they've got Johan Rubala as the option off of the bench. And now the crowd, they are singing as well. They believe that their side still have something in the tank, but the question is, do the Irish believe it? Cam Prendergast had a bit of a slip at line-out time, or in fact, he may have actually tripped over his teammate. That's a forward pass from Bundyaki straight to Jamison, or in fact, it was Josh van der Fleur's hands. Not called, so it will be play on. Willemse knocks it back to Mac Hansen, and because of that, it means that now they can't go back for that forward pass. Gibson Park, ball on the outside. Andrew Porter is back out there on the field. Malcolm Marks looking for the turnover, and the breakdown wasn't on the ball. Gibson Park again goes back across Furlong. That is a flat pass to Tyg Byrne to Gibson Park. Milks the penalty. Argus Namer gives him a little knee to the head for his troubles. The Leinster teammates. And they're saying he milked it. But I believe it is still going to be that penalty in the middle of the field. Yeah, he did milk that Gibson Park, although to be fair, I think that Gerhard Stennekamp got himself a little bit muddled. Ireland going for a 3 again here. That's not the choice, I wouldn't think. They're finally back to 15. So they finally have the opportunity to play a level, well, a similar playing field to what we have seen from South Africa in terms of numbers, but they've decided to go for the 3 points. I don't know why maybe gas tank? Maybe? But Ireland have not been good off the restart. So what happens is they end up getting the 3 points, and then from there they end up dropping the ball and South Africa get the scrum. Sam Prendergast kicks it over. It is the 3 points. The next best thing, if you can't watch live, says Kim. And Kwagga broken nose, Irish forward, broken egos. Says Ruby there. And red cards this game. Yep, 1 for James Ryan in this matchup. Marks need to be subbed off. He's tired. And also, but now it's only 2-score lead. Says Big Rig. Yeah, although you got 25 minutes left. It just seems like a little bit too little too late, I would think. Looks like Dan Sheehan making his way off the field. That is for Ronan Kelleher, who does make his way on. The Irish don't believe they can make through the box defence, says Paul Roy. What are the Boks doing, says Sook. And there too, but it's going to be kicked off by Sasha. Every kickoff has been contested. Now missed off the kickoff, and South Africa get the ball back again. I could have written that one down on a piece of paper because we pretty much called it word for word. Now Mani Libok on the field. In fact, that was Willemse. Here comes Jesse Creel just a few metres out from the Irish line. Now Argus Neyman finds the offload, as he always does. Reinach going to be chopped down. Only 25 to go, says Sander. Yep, 25 minutes now gone to 24 remaining. Peter Steph to Toy. Tackled again. Now Kwaka Smith, sneaky little run round the side. And looking for the steal there. Ireland may have got it. Yes, they do. They have survived the Springboks attack, and they're starting to believe that little bit. And come on, the Springboks, but they put themselves under the pressure again. And also, second half, much better. It's been a more free-flowing, better half. In fact, I would almost argue that first 17 minutes of the second half has been better to watch than the whole first half. It's been less stop-start. We've been able to see more from both of these teams, and I just feel like that's better, isn't it, when you start to see that little bit of back and forth. Like that try from Fanmu Ngumezulu, one of the better ones that we've seen in the game as well. Is Lebok on? He is not. I thought that for Limsa was Lebok there for a second. But there's the penalty going the way of Ireland just out from their own goal line. And because the Irish girls have no taste, says Martin. And Springboks eat Irish grass today. I guess Springboks probably do eat grass, don't they? I don't know what else they would eat. So yeah, I guess a bit of grazing going on. Currently 22 and a half minutes remaining. Turnovers 1, 3 and 3 as the count. We have got there. Come on, boys, bring it back. Says original Venom. Now that one's going to be going off to the right-hand side. Now, nice step there from Kwaka Smith. Sitting 22 metres out from the line. Reinach going across to Damien Dialendi. They don't all look alike. Hamish calling them they is a bit crazy, Sandor. But now off to the left-hand side, Kwaka Smith. Sasha now grubbers it in behind. Peter Steph chasing after it. He is almost bundled into touch, but somehow keeps the ball alive. Now Sasha tries to step once more. Ireland trying to get the steal on the breakdown. Can't quite do it. Wilco low. Big collision on him. Tyke Byrne almost turned it into a rolling maul, and he has to roll out of that breakdown, which he does. Another advantage against the Irish. Now another offload. Reinach knocks it on. Back for another penalty to South Africa. That's been what Eat Ferns, says Gary's. And when it's a World Cup draw, it is the 3rd of December that it will be taking place. Oh, number 10 and number 6 replacements not rolling away. They eat pizza and pasta. So here's coming. It looks like a couple more changes. Here comes Mani Libok alongside Andre Esterhazen, who will make his way onto the field for Seal Kolisi, who's played the 58 minutes in this match. Rassi going to be happy about this, says Paul Hustlers. And what is the penalty count? It's a few in this game. What we will quickly do is I'll have a check and see if I can find you the number. Penalty count. 12 against Ireland, 7 against South Africa. 3 yellow cards, 1 red card against Ireland, 0 and 0 against the Boks in this game. I want this ref to ref the Rugby World Cup final, says the underdog pick. And Marty, thank the Lord, Sasha Afimov says I know. And also poor discipline from Ireland costing them big, says Charlie. But now the scrum opportunity, just the 5 metres out from the line. Reinach's hands are shocking. He always has a couple handling errors, doesn't he, along the way. Stop the cap, says Vasco. Now ready for the scrum feed. Oh, and that's going to be a scrum reset. As Marty on now, he has made his way onto the park, replacing Sasha, take the damn 3. I don't think South Africa will be in any mindset going towards that 3-pointer at all. Same penalties the ABs should have received. World Rugby is in shambles, says Johan. Now let's go, says Original Venom. And Springboks eating frog leg pasta with Guinness. Sounds awful, doesn't it? We have got this Sashi FM was censored in this game. Well, he just wasn't allowed to play the attacking style that he would have done his best at, I would say. Okay, there, box smoke grass then. And as that background, the Aviva Stadium, it is indeed, and that is where these two sides are playing. They've been told to take it out. There's no advantage at scrum time. Both front rows collapsing at the same time. Kwaka Smith almost able to reach out and touch the line. Doris getting dirty in the breakdown. Almost could have got himself penalised again, and that is the last thing that the Irish need. They're offside by a mile. James Lowe, he was leading the rush defence, but he was leading it about 5 metres too far out in front, and there's a new advantage. It's held up It's the penalty for offside. And the Boks out in front of the post have another opportunity to take on 3 points. I think I jinxed it by saying that this was the better half. And do Peter Steph the toy. And y'all thinking the Boks is smoking wheat, says Vasco. Okay, 3, 1, and 7 are all getting replaced. That's probably a good time to do it. Definitely with this next scrum feed coming in the very near future. Now we have there the kicking is Andre Pollard's game plan, but Sasha is an attacking fly half. He needs to attack, not kick, says Kings are Kings. We see there McCarthy making his way on for Porter. We see Furlong making his way off the field for Finlay Bealham, and then also Jack Conan making his way on the field for, I believe it was Josh van der Flair, as the man who is being replaced. All right, 7, 3, and 1, all off. We're ready to see, I believe, another scrum here for the Springboks. Oh no, Van der Flair is still out there. Might be Ryan Beard, in fact. Who is that? Who's that bloke? He's really struggling here. Right. I think that the change is actually going to be for Ryan Beard, who is injured at the moment, by the looks of it. So they've had to decide, rather than making the change for, late change here. Rather than Josh van der Flair going off, it is actually going to be the switch, and Ryan Beard goes off for Jack Conan. One thing about South Africa, when they go on the field, they are one nation, one song, says Veronica. And this game is done, says the AI underdog pick. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it seems like it could go either way. I think that if South Africa score off this scrum and the set piece, it's done and dusted. But if somehow Ireland can survive again, it would be massive. Oh, okay, another scrum reset. It's almost a little bit of a pre-push there from the Springboks. They have to make sure that they're getting that timing right. They're already dominant enough at scrum time. They don't need that extra half second ahead of the ball being fed in. The rest of TMO make the wrong call and no review of their decisions, and the team lost the game. They can win, then the ref and TMO face no consequences of their false action or bias. It's Asha lawn mowing the pitch. Says Busy Spins. If South Africa scores, we can start talking about France versus Australia, says Ruby. And that is the game that is just around the corner. We are going to be covering that one on the channel too, ladies and gents. So, of course, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But now, Reinach, ready to feed this ball. And it's gone down front row. Penalty, but it is a new front row. And I believe they're going to go straight back to the scrum again here. All right, it's good to see you in good health, says Sharp there. And no way Ireland can come back from this, says Charlie Daly. Yeah, they're just in the wrong part of the field at this point in time. But this all came from deciding to go for a three-pointer rather than the corner. Penalty count, Ireland up to 14 times that they have been penalised in this match. We have got there, it's almost done and dusted. Well, I am done and dusted, if you know what I mean, says Mark. Ronan Agara talked to a good fly half once, says Sandor. Now ready to feed the scrum again. Still 19 minutes on the clock. Once more is a penalty try. Yeah, they've already had one penalty try in this match. Oh, front row down again. Another penalty. The Springboks are just going to keep on going. Scrum time here. It looks like it is going to be another warning to the South African pack. To the Irish pack. But this is going to happen until there's either a penalty try or a backline movement that they score of a penalty advantage. They're talking about Springboks need to get in Matthew Carley's ear and ask for those yellow cards. Okay, there. Thanks so much for the commentary. Listening from Namibia, says Andrew Small. And Shamrock's getting trampled, says User. Yeah, another scrum. Third in a row. The middle of the field. Irish boys do weak up front, says Francois. I'm done and dusted too, says Ruby. And Ireland will never beat the Springboks again, says Melvin. Crowd trying to get behind their forward-back. Ball is fed in once more. And this scrum holds strong, or at least it did for a while. The Springboks strategically keeping that ball in there. Now backline movement. Ball out to Kanan Moody. Pass to Valims, who gets the big driving tackle on him. They are still under that penalty advantage. They will go back. Another penalty, another yellow card, the 5th of the day for Ireland. And it looks like it's going to be McCarthy who makes his way off of the field. Your cards are not going to win scrums, says Original. Not sure why Ronax tried to take the quick tap there, as you're not allowed to when there is a card being awarded. We have got there from Namibia, love the Springboks. They Springboks, as we say in Poland. Where'd that go? In Poland are impossible. It's not really Ireland's fault. They were down to 12 men, says Jaku there. And not enjoying this game, says Sonia. Another scrum called. They're just going to keep on scrummaging until they get every single prop in Ireland sent off this field. It's effective. It's dominant. Is it good for neutrals watching? Probably not. I think by now a lot of people have already tuned out of this game if you aren't from either Ireland or South Africa, but it's going to win this game. It's effective, and when you have got such dominance, why would you not want to continue to use it? We have got South Africa play a very bland way of rugby with the scrums and rolling balls. They're humiliating Ireland at home. This is a joke of a match, says TK. They come on the block, and when your luck runs out, one card after another, there's a record set for yellow cards in the game. The Irish side seems to be wanting to break it. Jeepers, why can't South Africa score, says Meteorite, because they keep on going to scrum resets. And then, Ireland have defended all right at times throughout this one, but it's the fact that rather than like a quick tap, I think South Africa probably would have scored 2 or 3 times already had they gone for those quick taps, but they haven't wanted to. They've wanted to say right from the get-go, we're going to keep on pushing you backwards until you have literally no one left. I'm loving this, but it's probably terrible for the global game, says Studs Rugby. Yeah, it's the most dominant we've seen a 4-pack over another side in quite some time. But if you've got anyone outside of these two nations watching this game, they're not going to come back and watch another one. That is going to be another scrum reset for the Springboks. The crowd are booing. They've lost interest. What's going on? This has been a farcical. Let's go for the line-out drive. Says down south Safaris. Now they want to make a statement here, and they're going to continue doing it for the last 17 minutes, whether people like it or not. Boring match, just tap it box. Says one. We need to score now, says Sakabula. Yeah, I think finishing up with a big try here of a set piece. We're great. This is why rugby is dying too boring. A horrible spectacle for the game, says TKF. 5 yellows now, remove that ref. Right, ball's fed in. Scrum, they've been told to use it. They are out of this one without an advantage. Dialendi on the short ball. Lebok getting shut down there. The Irish fans once again coming alive as they look for the steal but couldn't quite get it. Can the Springboks score? Up against less on the field again, up against the 14 Irish field. Now, Reinach, that's knocked out of the hands, and it's another penalty advantage against the Irish. Their problem is anytime they almost survive a lifeline, they give away another penalty. And now, the Springboks, they have a couple options. They can kick for the corner, they can go for the quick tap, but I have a feeling they will go once again for the scrum. Box aren't just orchestrating these penalties, though. Ireland are just outclassed, says Robert T. And Ireland are copying South Africa. Why they put Banyaki in the scrum? They put him in the scrum because they only had 7 in the scrum, so they needed someone else in there. But still 16. Oh, they've gone line out. 18th penalty against the Irish. We have got there. Stop talking about what a bad spectacle it is. It's a great spectacle for us. I mentioned that. I did say if you are South African, a majority are saying they're happy with what they are seeing, but I mentioned from a neutral perspective, which you are obviously not. But from a neutral point of view, it's just been a bit of a tough game. But that's taken absolutely nothing away from what South Africa have done. Now they're looking for that rolling maul. They've been told to use it once. Malcolm Marks breaking off the back. Warriors shut down by Porter, as well as Gibson Park. Peter Steph-Toy wrestled down round the bootlaces. A nominee for Rugby Player of the Year. Eben Etzebeth. Going round the side again. Oh, that was an accidental drop ball in Ireland. end up with the possession again. They just can't exit their own half, though. Are rubbing their noses in it, so South Africa are. Yeah, they absolutely are. They have gone, we've found your weakness. We're just going to keep on doing it up until your own side go against you. But that is a good clearance from Gibson Park. 15 minutes still remaining in this contest. The sad thing about this game, the Irish will hide behind the ref excuse. Says Carlo. And Ireland are good on their line, but that's about it. Says Francois. Yeah, like their goal line defence deserves a huge amount of credit. Me and Werner are watching from South Africa. Great commentary, says Nico. Thank you very much. There's no way they didn't score there. Oh, it looks like Malcolm Marx is about to make his way off the field. Kobus Reinach is cut open on his forehead. What is the narrative? It is for a spectacle. It is for a win. The game at the end of the day, is it not? That is the spectacle, says Johan Brand. Yeah, like I said, it's domination from South Africa in the scenario. And, you know, people like being entertained, but that doesn't matter. You don't have to worry about entertainment value. It's more so just, you know, as long as those rankings look good by the World Cup draw, that is the big thing that is on the cards. That sounded like I was being sarcastic there, but it is in reality what matters. With it close to December, that you do need to be sitting exactly at that top of the mountain. You know, that top 6 battle was so crucial at this point in time. They were trying to get the steal there, Bundyaki, but his play had not rolled away. And Bros can't score. Says Pet Life there. But now back across to the right-hand side. Chance here for the South Africans. Peter Steph the toy. Low tack on him. Looks for the offload. Picked up by James Lowe. What's the stadium look like? It is still full for this game, and it is actually quite loud at this stage. I'm enjoying the game from Botswana. Enjoy it while it lasts, people. World Rugby will change the rules ASAP after this game, but now breaking through Finley Pure. Oh, that was head-on-head with Ruan Nokia. I think it was just the bounce of where the direction was. It wouldn't be anything more than a penalty if it is called as one. And domination by South Africa, says Mark. And there as well. Oh, ball's available for Jameson Gibson Park. Now breaking away to the right-hand side. They are still inside of their own half. I think this game has been a bit light on the scrums. Well, we're probably going to still get 5 more in this contest. So frustrating, South Africa can't score. Now it's kicked by Ireland. 2 men going up for it. Neither man getting a finger on it, though. And instead it is in the hands of Damien Delende, just inside of the South African half. The Bubs are full here in South Africa. United, we stand behind our boys. And great, awesome, fantastic, vigilant commentary says Wedding. Now rolling it back again, Kobus Reinach. Kicks this one up high. Back to that aerial battle. Out there on the field. Picked up by Damien Delende. Chips it in behind. Reinach's chasing, but back there to cover is Crowley, who has enough time to be able to kick this one into touch. But again, South Africa will have themselves the line out. How many yellow cards have Ireland conceded? 5 in this contest. No DNA, just RSA, says Dale. And also, we have got the South African watching from Slovakia. Thank you for the content. I'll be lost without it, says Graham. And of course, we are going to see one more game for South Africa of 2025. That has taken place next week up against the Welsh. How do Ireland concede so many penalties without a penalty try being awarded? There has been a penalty try awarded. It was their 4th. We have got there a great commentary, mate. Says Israel. Sorry, it would have been the 3rd. South Africa still waiting to bring up that. Oh, no, sorry. It would have, the 3rd because they got their 4th in the second half with Feinberg Ngome Zulu. Now knocked on by Kane and Moody. Picked up by Ireland again. They have currently got 25 metres out from their line. 12 minutes remaining on the clock. If they can somehow find some sort of way through the South African defence, find themselves close for the closing moments. But again, all they can do is kick this one into touch. Box need a negative game. Or playing a negative game. Replace Reinach ASAP, says Raymond. And Reinach is off, says Francois in there. And it looks like Tyke Byrne is sucking in some deep breaths at the moment. Is Marnie in? He has been in for the last about 10 or so minutes. But most of that 10 minutes was actually scrum. So that's why we haven't seen Marnie get too much of a crack. But Grant Williams has now made his way onto the field for Reinach. Line out throw for Johan Rubela. That one wouldn't have been straight had the Irish decided to contend for it. Now Tyke Byrne and the breakdown. Gets onto the ball. Gets the turnover. Ripped back by South Africa, though, pretty much the next second. Now, Quagga Smith almost having a knock on there. Marty Libok going back to the aerial kick. Yeah, chasing after it. Chiseling Colby. That is a man that we haven't mentioned in quite some time. Great work from Gary Ringrose, claiming that ball before he is tackled by Quagga Smith. 22 metres out from the line again for the Irish. Finlay Bielam, big collision with Wilco Lowe. A great commentary once again, says Denver in there. Williams should have been on earlier. Now again, the option kicking downfield. Prendergast doesn't find the touchline. Libok now has the chance to run it, but instead will kick it high once more. Damien De Lendio, in fact, it's for Limsa, goes up for it. Ball knocked back by Ireland is the call. By Carly, looked like there may have been a knock on there. Here comes the Irish backline. Numbers on the outside. Ringrose in open space. Goes to James Lowe. He will kick it himself, and it's charged down though. Beautiful work from Cheslin Colby. It's going to be the foot race. Retreating back for Jack Crowley. Has to avoid Quagga Smith and just manages to do it there. That is brilliance from the number 22 for Ireland. As my voice almost decides to run away from me, he was running away from the Springbok defenders. Kick down the middle of the field from Ringrose. Again, an opportunity to run this one back for South Africa, but again, sending it back up high. Going up for it for Limsa. Big knock on from him. Or is it? It looks like they're going to say play on. Moody knocks it on in the in-goal area, but they may check it anyway. And James Lowe kicking aimlessly again. Yeah, I don't know what would have happened had that ball gone past. Right, as a goal line dropout now in favour. It must not have been the knock on from Limsa. Must have just skew-whiffed straight back off one of the Irish players. Cheslin Colby, he's a great guy. He is a great guy, yeah. He's been pretty quiet in the second half. He did get that charge down now. Moody get off already, says BK. And Kings of Rugby, Springboks, right, kicking off short in Ireland, managing to retain their goal line dropout. Springboks caught napping a little bit there off the reset. Currently 9 minutes remaining in this contest, and they're starting to run this ball. Prendergast could not decide who he wanted to go to. Wide cut out pass from Tom Farrell. Cheslin Colby almost able to steal it again. He is becoming a right headache for this Irish side. What's the score at the moment? 24-13 after 72 minutes. Ireland 5 metres out from their line. I bet Irish talking some absolute trash. Says Sandor. And also we got there finish strong. And great ref for a change. Says Harry, yeah, penalising the Irish 20 times in this contest so far. Now kick downfield, Gibson Park. This time looks for the sideline as I look for my water bottle. Because my voice is trying to disappear from me. We've still got France versus Australia just around the corner too. Craig Casey, he makes his way onto the field. That is going to be for Jamison Gibson Park. He's had a big game in that 9 jersey. Hasn't done too much wrong. Andrew Porter also now making his way back off of the field again as McCarthy returns from his yellow card. Box let 13 players score 13 points. That's a disappointment to Percy, says Maga. Looks like maybe a bit of a neck injury here for Wilco Lowe too. And a very good New Zealand ref, well done, says Vanessa. He's English, Matthew Carley. And Huddy T. Hamish. We know that's vodka Hamish, you're not fooling us. And 20 penalties and 5 cards. This is the worst game of all time for Irish discipline. It's got to be up there. Irish play negative ball. It's pretty hard to play positive ball, though, when you are forever inside of your 22. How many penalties did South Africa give away so far? 8, I think it was the last I saw. It could be more now, might be 9. I just realised I've had that super sticker up on the field or on the screen for a pretty long time. Okay, so penalty count at the moment, 18 against Ireland. They haven't quite reached that 20, 8 against South Africa. So an extra 10 penalties against the Irish in this contest. We have got the Springboks simply the best in the universe, says Martin. I'm sorry, but the Boks are playing like, we should have had 6 tries by now, says Old Man Crow. And Ireland could still win, not over yet. Yeah, I think if they've got any chance of winning, interesting man of the match contenders here. They've gone Malcolm Marx, Jasper Wiese, Kobus Reinach, and Sasha Feinberg Ungumezulu. surely the props get a little bit of loving for the way that they've dominated scrums, don't they? Thomas Dutoit, crucial turnover, plus winning multiple penalties that forced the Irish to have one man in the bin. For me, the man of the match is not even on that list. I think that, don't get me wrong, Vesa's been really strong and he's probably my second choice, but I'd probably give it to either Thomas Dutoit or even you could argue that someone like a Damien Dialindi has been pretty solid out there on the park. And go the Bok. And also, cheers, Hamish, says Carol in there. Irish might have a biological disposition. That's a terrible lineup for man of the match, says Roman. Yeah, Malcolm Marks hasn't thrown a straight line out today at times, unfortunately. So I'm surprised he was on there. Not Reinach. Reinach, I think he's had too many knock-ons throughout this game to be able to cement it, although he has at least scored a try in this game. I fully agree, bro. The forwards need more recognition, says Jason. I agree. You should give the Irish credit for not conceding 10 plus by now. The Spok team is full power, says Ruby. And also, we have got there. I just want to say, Hamish, thanks for your language and keeping it clean, says Peter. And time left at the moment, another 7.5 minutes now remaining in this fixture. Malcolm Marks throwing that ball back in and another stolen line out. So if he had any chance of winning the man of the match, it has got to be gone now. Almost breaking through for Josh van der Fleer. Now pick and go from McCarthy. Ireland can't afford to kick this ball away. They almost just have to go for the attack and hope for the best. They may concede a try, but you might as well take that risk. Peter Setadoy had another brilliant game. Yeah, he's definitely up there as well. In terms of options, now Sam Prendergast running out of options of being able to pass that ball. Still there. We'll mention Wilco Lowe still out there on the park as well. Look at your viewers. This match has people interested no matter how people spin it. Says Kings of King now passed out wide for the Irish. Cian Prendergast receives possession. Counter ruck from South Africa. They're all in off their feet for that breakdown, but you could argue that is because there was no Irish player there to counterweight. We have got there, well, the next level box struggling against the declining Irish team, says Q Physics. And this has been a statement performance by the Bok forward pack. Now going high, James Lowe chasing after it. Knock on from Colby. It is going to be the scrum feed now in favour of the Irish. In fact, penalty for offside. It's been upgraded. Great commentary, thanks. Says Rio there, and forwards very seldom get the glory. Yeah, sometimes those forwards, like in this scenario, right? The back line, I don't think it's fired the way that they would have liked, but their forward pack has been formidable in this match, the Springboks. So that's where I feel like you have to give it to one of the forwards as a man of the match here. And I actually only tuning in now, out camping with a limited reception. Good to see that the boys are doing well. Go the Bok. Says Jan's there. No ref, not biased. Irish discipline rubbish. 18 penalties given away. Great Hamish, man of the match. Our list is lousy and great commentary, thanks. The chat is still flying by. Thank you very much for your donation. It is hugely appreciated too. Hamish, I do enjoy your commentary, says Gideon. Thank you very much. We've got plenty more of it coming. France versus Australia is just around the corner. And that game's going to be hectic as well, I have a feeling. Short ball, Bundyaki goes to Josh van der Fleer. One big turnover here for the South Africans, and that could finish the game off. But now backline movement. Ronan Kellar just didn't get that next pass out. Casey goes back across to Bielam. Can Ireland somehow get back in this game? Prendergast, short pop pass up to his brother, who got smashed backwards. And once again, physical tackling effort by the Springboks. Offload Kellar goes to Doris Argesneyman. He is all over him. And there was a knock-on in the breakdown. Oh, Marty Libok getting in the face of Doris. There's about to be a fight out there. I'm not sure why Libok was so keen to have a word to the Irish captain. But a huge shot from Quaka and Damien Dialindi. He was another guy that I had up there for man of the match contenders. Oh, wow. Wow. Libok's just been penalised for being stupid. It's going to be a penalty to Ireland for Libok trying to escalate the situation. Players screaming. Okay, Marnie Libok has just been warned. And that's going to be the penalty against Marnie. Now, that was interesting from Matthew Carley. I can understand the screaming at the opposition, but he said celebrating on the field will not be tolerated, I think was the wording that he said. But it was also for the fact that Marnie went straight into the face of Doris, screamed at him. Okay, Matthew Carley's just said to Peter Seftodoy that wasn't good enough. So we have got there, thanks for the excellent commentary. And treat your voice to a Brunners and Coke for this marathon session. Says France there, greatly appreciated for your generosity. And penalised for shouting, says Francois. Yeah, he did try and escalate it a little bit, Lebock. He did a little bit of it, like, it wasn't his smartest move, and we've seen those penalised before. Rolling maul, Ireland breaking back around, and 2 metres out from the try line. Can they get over with 3.5 left on the clock? Gus McCarthy just short of the try line for the men in green. Well, they're in white today, but they've got a little bit of green on the shorts. Now Craig Casey fires it across to Caelan Doris. Off the foot, so it is play on. Prendergast, one more. Cheslin Colby manages to shut down this Irish attack, who are still playing under penalty advantage. Casey goes to Bilham. What a solid defensive line. Tries the no-look pass on the outside, and it will go back for the penalty again. Maybe knock on should be named man of the match. Oh, double blow the whistle. Yellow card to South Africa, the 6th of the day. The momentum is changing, and it's Arge Snyman who is going to end up going to the bin. This is rubbish, says Hilton. And Box let it come. And stupid as always. And also, if the Box lose, I'll become a leprechaun. Says here, but Arge Snyman in his 50th match has got himself yellow carded against a lot of his old teammates. The Irish have 2.5 minutes left in this game. Yellow card for Arge Snyman. And more tries, or more yellows than tries. Yeah, it doesn't happen too often. But it has happened here. Oh, never mind. TMO has said that they were actually in touch. So Arge Snyman comes back out onto the field. He is not yellow carded, and he will make his return out to the park. So because it was in touch, TMO has found that foot that did go out. And it does mean now that Arge Snyman in his 50th game gets to come back out onto the field. Happy 50 Arge Snyman. The crowd have booed him, although he will be cheered by the Aviva crowd throughout the URC for Leinster. And wearing dresses for men will not be tolerated, says Wedding. But now it looks like they're going to go for the quick tap here. The Irish, Andrew Kelleher throwing himself straight at Arge Snyman. Can they get over here? Short ball, Van der Flair. Can't get through. South Africa, their goal line defence has been incredible. Throughout this matchup, they have only conceded the one try to Dan Sheehan. And now Craig Casey goes back across. Can the Box just keep this onslaught of defence going? If they can, it would be massive for their confidence. And I feel like you'd ask Rassi after the game what he liked more, the defence or the attack. He would 100% say that defence if they were able to hold them out. Ball's available once more. Casey goes off to the right-hand side. It looks like the Irish have run out of options on the attack. Nice run from Crowley, though, to make those extra couple metres. Now Prendergast with a pick and go. Looked like it may have been a little bit high from Arge Snyman. Backline movement. Can't find the pass for Sam Prendergast off the rush defence of Grant Williams. Malcolm Marks gives away the penalty advantage. And the penalty awarded. Is this going to be the yellow card? Yes, no, is it? Yes, it is. They will get that yellow card that they almost had before, and this time it's Grant Williams who gets sent to the bin. Box couldn't catch a cold today. Ugly, says Zandor. However, there's no time left, says Big Rick. Yeah, currently 90 seconds remaining on the clock here. And it looks like Ireland are once again going to go for the quick tap and go. If they can score right now, they would still get one last chance. 1 metre short. Another penalty advantage for the Irish. Kelleher breaking round the side. They just can't find that last inch. Denied on the line again. Casey goes back to Prendergast. Surely this is a try. It's a drop ball for Gibson Park. They go back for another penalty. That's dirty from Colby too. Foot trips Gibson Park and kicks that ball into touch, and those two look like they're about to throw fists. This might be interesting here because the clock is still ticking down. That was a veteran move from Colby. He knew Ireland wanted to take it quickly, got over, kicked the ball out of Gibson Park's hands. Quick tap taken by Ireland again. They know that they don't have time to wait for it. Now Craig Casey. They've got 30 seconds left on the clock. Doris, he ran in far too high. Ireland may turn down the 3 points here. Oh, and the ball stolen by South Africa on their goal line. managing to get the steal. Ireland got it straight back. The crowd don't know who to cheer and who to boo for at the moment. Doris Prendergast can't get it into the hands of Gibson Park effectively. Another advantage. Wide cutout pass goes to Colby, and they'll go back for the knock-on. 5 seconds remaining on the clock. Ireland have the last scrum, but South Africa will have the victory in this matchup. But the question is, can they get one more here, Ireland, just to mitigate the difference? My original prediction, I believe, was 26-23. So I went 3 points in favour of the Boks. I would say if Ireland score a converted try here, I'll be pretty happy with how close I was to the scoreline. And to be honest, Ireland would take a 4-point loss. 5 yellow cards in this contest. Insane game of rugby between these two sides. The scoreboard is on, or the scoreboard is all that counts at the end. And the Boks Scrum, hold my beer. The crappiest game I've watched this year, but a win is a win, says Mariska there. It's so wonderful to see South Africans tuning in from all over the country and world. I wish you amazing, thank you. And Colby giving them their own medicine, says Harry Bateman. And there too. Show us your screen. We want to see the action. The highlights of this game will be up on YouTube relatively close after this game is finished, just not on our channel because we don't have the licensing to be able to do so. The ball is going to be fed in by Ireland. Front rows go down. The crazy thing is, the next game, ladies and gentlemen, is literally kicking off in 20 minutes' time. This game has taken 2 hours, 10 minutes, and it's not done yet. That has to be the longest game that we have had in quite some time for international rugby. We have got there, they really don't like each other. Yeah, there's been plenty of push and shove out there on the field. I'm sure social media, it's going to be awful throughout this whole week. Not just for the All Blacks after beating the Welsh by a decent margin, but of course, they didn't win by enough. So people still angry about that. There will be hostility between these two sides. Free kick awarded to the Irish. Craig Casey goes short side. He runs straight. Some of the biggest players out there on the field for the South Africans. And Ireland, if they can hang on to this ball for long enough, they can find themselves with another South African going to the bin in the near future. Now sitting 10 metres out from the try line. I've never seen so many cards, says Kim. Yeah, we talked about it at the start. When you have two heavyweight sides going head to head, sometimes it can be great. Sometimes it won't be. This game it's been great for one side for different reasons. That ball's popped out the back. Colby will kick it into touch, and that will be the end of this contest. 24 points to 13 in favour of the South Africans. Rassi giving the thumbs up to the people through the glass in the stands. So there is some really ugly back and forth that has gone on, and I believe it will continue all the way through to that next Rugby World Cup. Thumbs up from Rusty. Crack up, says Dan Boy. And also we've got there something, maybe good sometimes, maybe shush, says Ryan there. Thank you, sir, says Daya. And congrats on your commentary. Very good. And thanks again, Hamish, says Gustav there. And Brenton, very much appreciated, says Peter. And yeah, plenty more coming on the channel. Anyone who hasn't already, be sure to hit that subscribe button because we have another game just around the corner between France and Australia. And alongside that, there are 2 matches tomorrow. Scotland versus Tonga. And also alongside that, there is the matchup between England and Argentina. Now we have got there, well done to our Springboker. And also we've got the Ireland have been turning into biltong today, says Power Bite. Although quite a few people like biltong, so I'm confused at that one. And thank you, Hamish, always appreciated, says Philip. And we have got there, geez, that game was a mess, says Big Rig. And thanks for the commentary, no worries at all. And yeah, it has come to a close, this matchup. It was something. I don't know how else to describe it. Are you not entertained? I think the second half was better than the first half. But a lot of mistakes. But then it was never going to be a massively high-scoring game between these two sides. I know this game is fake. And also proud of our Springboker. And thanks for the commentary. One time, Hamish. We're the best at rugby. You are the best commentator. And also not a match to rewatch terrible bad decisions. Yeah, I don't think I'll be watching it again. To be fair, I don't think I'll be rewatching Wales versus All Blacks either. We need a game to be able to rewatch over this weekend, and perhaps it could be France versus Australia just around the corner. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. Like I said, another game just about to start up. It is going to be France versus Australia. I might have time to have a very quick snack in between these streams, but we are starting in 5 minutes. for that next game. So anyone who is new, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you all for the next one.